Shalom, worldwide family.
You on it, bro?
Yes, sir.
You on? Okay. All right, y'all. Y'all know how we do it. Look like it's just all regulars down here. Return toward Holy Jerusalem as instructed. And Daniel 6 chapter, 1 Kings 8. Men ought to uncover their head. Women ought to cover their head, according to 1 Corinthians 11. 1 Tim chapter 2, verse 8. Hold our hands high to the Most High, y'all. This is like an oath that you're making to him. So make sure your prayers and words are wise. With that, y'all, what psalm we hit?
We're beginning with 97 Psalm.
97 Psalm, y'all.
We'll get this opening prayer with the Most High's permission. In the name of his only begotten Son, our uncrowned King, our Lord and Savior, Yahweh Shah HaMashiach. Long live the King.
Long live the King.
Psalm, the 97th chapter. That's right. And it reads, the Most High reigneth, let the earth rejoice. Let the multitude of isles be glad thereof. Clouds and darkness are round about him. Righteousness and judgment are the habitation of his throne. A fire goeth before him, and burneth up his enemies round about. His lightnings enlighten the world. The earth saw and trembled. The hills melted like wax at the presence of the Most High. At the presence of Yahweh of the world, the whole earth. The heavens declare his righteousness, and all the people see his glory. Confounded be all they that serve graven images, that boast themselves of idols. Worship him, all ye gods. Zion heard and was glad, and the daughters of Judah rejoiced because of thy judgments, O Yahweh. For thou, Yahweh, art high above all the earth. Thou art exalted far above all gods. Ye that love the Most High hate evil. He preserveth the souls of his saints. He delivereth them out of the hand of the wicked. Light is sown for the righteous, and gladness for the upright in heart. Rejoice in the Most High, ye righteous, and give thanks at the remembrance of his holiness. Hallelujah! Say loud! Yes, sir.
Once again, shout outs to the worldwide family, those listening in. Glad you could join us today. Y'all, today we're going to hit on a subject, and we're going to title it Biblical Wilderness One-on-One. And basically what we're talking about today is not location. It's what the wilderness is biblically spoken of. And every time it's mentioned, what took place within the wilderness. So before you can even establish location, you have to establish in your mind and understanding what wilderness is and what wilderness means. Once you get a handle on that, then location is not an issue with you, because you got it locked and loaded up here. What I'm supposed to do, what I can expect that's going to happen there, no matter what location it is on planet Earth. And like always, y'all, before we get started, we'll take any quick questions, anything on your heart, mind, or soul, something you done seen before we jump right into this lesson at hand, because I got a few scripts we gonna hit. Go ahead, LC.
You always say no salvation by location.
No salvation by location, absolutely. See, salvation is by keeping of the word and the commandments. So once we understand that, and once you get locked and loaded on a subject matter, you know it from all four directions. And it ain't like, well, what about this? And then you start to contemplate the scripture. Well, maybe that's because that's in the New Testament, or maybe because that was over there. Any doubts of scripture is going to cause you a problem off top. So the easiest thing to do is, with all you're getting, get understanding.
right.
So we must get understanding of what happens in the wilderness, because he said there's nothing uncommon to man that ain't already happened. And when you see the scripts, we're going to hit them about, I'll show you a new thing. Oh, we're going to show you the new thing. But the new thing ain't going to happen till something else is done. So we're not talking about location today. We're only talking about clear and precise understanding of what wilderness is and what it means. So yeah, bro, no location by salvation, or salvation by location, I should say. What you got, Sister D?
I had a question about Acts 16.
Acts 16. Okay, and that's about Timothy.
Is it possible that his father was Israelite
No.
that's taking on the Greek
Custom. Well, that would be the easiest thing for most of them to do. The only problem with that is that we understand that the question she asked was Acts 16:1. Was Timothy's father being a Greek? Was it a Greek mindset, or was he a Greek in particular? If that was the case, it wouldn't matter because of lineage. Mindset don't stop the commandments. So for them fighting against him to be circumcised, the men wouldn't have been doing that with a Greek mindset. You still have to circumcise Israel, because mindset, so to speak, taking on another culture don't prevent the law from what you're supposed to be doing. So that's what Paul was arguing with him about. You know, just because his father, if you're saying he's an Israelite that don't know who he is, then today most of these children walking around here should be uncircumcised. Because, you know, what would be the deal if their father don't know he's Israel? That count for all over the globe. And that was major for us coming up in slavery. And it's the most confused, what they say, Folly Day in America. The most confusing day is what?
Father's Day.
Father's Day. Nobody know who daddy is. So from that perspective, how are you going? But the laws must stand. They have to stand. Just like in the book of Exodus, when the daughter of Dan, she was married to an Egyptian man, and her son was judged by Israelite law, just like this Acts 16, Timothy was judged by Israelite law. Now, if you're saying his father was supposed to be in there, then you're still giving power to the mother. So they can't have it both ways. It'll make you continually stumble over what you're trying to get. Mindset of Israel thinking they somebody else. Don't stop Deuteronomy 28, do it. Do it stop Deuteronomy 28?
Nope, sir.
So it ain't gonna stop nothing else because you think you in America. It ain't gonna stop Deuteronomy 28. Black Lives Matter, them marching because they don't know who they are. They're marching because of Deuteronomy 28. They just don't know the reason why. It's a big difference in knowing why you're in this position and only gonna rise to this level. That's the highest you're gonna get. So once that's understood, these scriptures are easy, but that's the doctrine of they're saying we're not excluding, we're not including any other nation in this program. It's only Israel. We're gonna have a problem all the way from Adam up to Jacob and his 12 sons. Before then, you got all other nations, and you got people being saved. What nation was Adam? Was Adam an Israelite? Was Noah an Israelite? No, because we know when Hebrew started. Now, if you're talking about Hebrew, because Israelite came after Hebrew. So, y'all, we don't want to get tied up in that. What we want to do is always be understanding that certain things just can't be. Because he told you, I'm going to strip you of who you are. Does that mean we get to be void of the law? I don't know who I am. I ain't got to keep the law. Can it? Any man say that? Even the ones with the Gentile mind, can they say it? I don't have to know the law. I got a Gentile mindset. That's going to be the biggest thing at Judgment Day, ain't it? Lord, you know my heart. It was loaded with Gentileness.
Right.
Judge me from that perspective. And if he judges, it's still going to be by the laws. They ain't going nowhere. Our heritage, it ain't going nowhere. And it ain't to be regulated by a situation where you're saying it has to go through the man. And I don't want no other nation being involved with these scriptures but this. And you got all throughout this scripture who he uses, his creation.
To be a light to the Gentiles.
To be a light to the Gentiles.
That's right.
And once they get the light, they are light to their fellow heirs. And tell them, you know, I just heard this from the Israelite. If that don't happen, how you gonna ever see it? How's it ever gonna come to pass unless you see the other nations doing what was prophesied in here? If you cut them all off, what you gonna see? Hope that answered your question, sis. Anybody got any more questions? Any questions out there in the worldwide audience? What you got, LC? How many what? Well, 10 of them went, you know, and then they moved about, and then they went over the Euphrates. And when you get into Osiris, that second Ezra 13, when you get into that, they moved to different locations. But after that, man, it's been 2,000 years. Tribes are moving everywhere. They say Israel will be oppressed together. So is Judah mixed among, because Judah on the four corners, you know, he's running into some of the other tribes. Mm-hmm. So this is why this wilderness is so important, y'all. But the topic at hand is just understanding what wilderness is when you first hear about it, when it manifests itself, when miracles happen in it, and then what's the final outcome of the wilderness. What we're trying to establish today is the wilderness is not the kingdom. There's scriptures that compare goings on in the wilderness like they would be in eternity. But it's not the kingdom. You can't look forward to going to the wilderness as the final location. Because once you get the understanding of it, you'll know what the final location is. What you got back there, LC?
Judah, the only one banging.
Why who?
Judah.
Is what? Only one did what?
Banging their word.
Oh, well, I mean, the other tribes are banging too. Judah just got the scepter, Genesis 49. So everybody is just looking at Judah because they holding the scepter until Shiloh comes. So, you know, the focus is kind of more on fourth tribe, you know, but the other tribes are doing their work as well. Okay, y'all, so we'll start this off with first the description of wilderness, and that's H3452. What is stating, bro?
H3456.
6 and 6.
That's what you see. That's what's on paper.
I got 5 too.
Well, say wilderness.
Okay, well, here's it, bro.
What you got?
Yeshimah. It's waste. Wilderness.
I got you, sir.
Desert. Desolate place.
What kind of place?
Desolate place. Also, Jeshama, solitary, wilderness.
So you'll see the definition of it even as a place, wasteful place or solitary place, a place where you're going through a rough patch in your life and you're trying to get it together. And you're going to leave those bad behaviors in that place. But we'll see that the wilderness is a training process. If you have to learn this process when you're at your final destination, that's going to be a problem because it's going to be tore up before you find out what's going on. It'll be just like here, leave all of this trash in the wilderness and let's get through it and get to the other end. So we got a definition of it. Read that definition again one more time for me. So ain't no H3 3452.
It's 52. It's 3452.
What is that?
H3.
H3452. Yeshima, waste, wilderness, desert, desolate place, solitary, wilderness.
See, so once you get that understanding, the biblical understanding of what a wilderness is, then it'll immediately take out of your mind as a place of just where you're going to be chilling through eternity. is not going to be the wilderness. The wilderness is a trying place. It's a place where you get examined. It's the final straw in letting you across the river, so to speak, into the promised land. So with that, y'all, we're going to get right into these scriptures. It's a cleansing place, the wilderness. It's a testing place. Miracles are performed. And y'all, and once again, I want to make it clear, I am not stating location. I'm just stating what the script says of what to expect when you get to the wilderness, wherever on planet Earth it may be. The rules ain't gonna change because of location. So y'all, with that, we will always want to get understanding. So we'll start off as a Proverbs chapter 4, verse 7, and then we'll get right into Sirach about understanding, so we get clear that we're talking about wilderness and what takes place in it. Sirach chapter 3, 17 through 31. But first we hit right this Proverbs chapter 4, verse 7. We'll read a couple of them.
Reading from the book of Proverbs, chapter 4. Start our reading at about verse 7.
Sir.
Everybody there?
Back it up at 5, he said? Okay. Yes, sir.
See, I got from 1 to 4 highlighted.
Do it. Well, go on, do your thing, bro.
Yeah. We're going to back that up to verse 1.
Yes, sir.
Reading in the book of Proverbs, chapter 4, starting our reading at verse 1. And it reads, "Hear, ye children, the instruction of a father, and attend to no understanding."
See, when he says attend to no understanding, focus all your attention on how this works. What makes this work? What's the outcome of how this works? You got to focus on understanding that matter so you can explain it from every aspect. Go ahead, bro.
Verse 2.
For
I give you good doctrine. Forsake ye not my law.
See, so doctrine can only be understood by law. No matter what you're saying, the law, doctrine can never void or erase law, because it's the measuring stick of judgment. You can't take judgment out of the picture to get to point B. It's impossible. Because point B is then going to be what's called lawless. And we know what's happening when things are lawless. Anything goes.
Yeah.
Go ahead, bro.
Verse 3. For I was my father's son, tender and only beloved in the sight of my mother. He taught me also, and said unto me, let thine heart retain my words, keep my commandments and live.
See, and that's the principal thing. It's the only way to live is to keep the commandments. Whether you're in a wilderness or in a mansion, the only way to live is to keep the commandments.
That's right.
The wilderness is not a commandment-free place. It's a trying and testing place. It's going to test your faith. It's going to test your resolve. It's going to be like somebody's going to a drug rehab and call home, and after 2 weeks, man, I've been clean for 2 weeks. Well, yeah, I can understand that. You way out in Boone Lick County somewhere. How long you gonna be there? I got 2 more weeks. Where you going after that? Back to the ghetto. Back to the wilderness where you got to fight what you got cleaned up with to see if you can sustain. Or you're gonna have to live up there in Boone Lick County somewhere where hopefully can't no drugs get to you. Well, that ain't the way it's set up.
You gotta be bigger than that.
You gotta be bigger than that. You can't hide from nowhere. Because since the Garden of Eden, Adam and Eve sinned, we have been in a worldwide wilderness. It's a growing process that's full of sin, trying to get back to the original Garden of Eden that had no sin in it. That's what you're trying to come full circle through. And you're going through a wilderness. Everybody did from the days of Noah. If this is going to be just like the days of Noah and Sodom and Gomorrah, those were wilderness times where you had to choose up where wickedness was surrounding you.
Yeah.
You can't say the hand is given into the wicked who run in the world right now and not expect wickedness to go on right around you. What you think they rule in every part but the wilderness part? They're going to be involved in that too. The whole world is given to them in his hand. He going to have wickedness while you're going through the wilderness. See if you'll disobey at the last second. We got problems with that. We fall off at the end.
Yep.
Let's get some more. What it say?
Verse 5. Get wisdom, get understanding, forget it not, neither decline from the words of my mouth. Forsake her not, and she shall preserve thee. Love her, and she shall keep thee. Wisdom is the principal thing. Therefore, get wisdom, and with all thy getting, get understanding.
See, once you have the understanding of the subject matter, it don't matter where you go or where you're located at, any parts of the globe. And understand this, if the Most High ain't set up no part of the globe as safety where no storms reach or no earthquakes reach, it ain't a safety zone on earth where his natural disasters don't meet. Now, we ain't going to get no hurricanes here in the Midwest, but we're going to get earthquakes and we're going to get tornadoes. San Diego got the perfect weather, don't they? There's always 85. But guess what? They sitting and waiting on the big one. Seeing what Hawaii getting volcanoes, they call that paradise. But lava flowing down the middle of the street. So y'all, there's no place on earth that you can go to physically and enjoy till you dead. If it was, we could go there. No, you ain't gonna be there. Let's get some more.
Verse 8. Exalt her, and she shall promote thee. She shall bring thee to honor when thou dost embrace her. She shall give to thine head an ornament of grace. A crown of glory shall she deliver to thee. Hear, O my son, and receive my sayings, and the years of thy life shall be many.
That's what we're talking about, y'all. Let's get right over to the book of Sirach, chapter 3, verse 17. We're going to read down a little bit on that. More understanding and wisdom surrounding wilderness. Y'all, that's what we want to get our mind fixed. And we're going to go to a couple events in world history, in Israelite world history, and the history to come, to understand what is going to take place wherever that location is on earth.
We're reading in the book of Ecclesiasticus, or Sirach in the Apocrypha, chapter 3, and we'll start our reading at verse 17.
Yes, sir.
Everybody there? And it reads, My son, go on with thy business in meekness, so shalt thou be beloved of him that is approved. The greater thou art, the more humble thyself.
What does that say again?
The greater thou art, the more humble thyself, and thou shalt find favor before the Most High.
I gotta say witness to that.
Go ahead, bro.
Proverbs chapter 22, verse 4.
What does it say?
By humility and fear of the Lord are riches and honor and life.
Yes, sir. So y'all see how you continue to get them riches. The more you know and understand, the more humble you should become. That says meek. Meek don't mean weak. They two different words. They sound like they rhyming, but they're two different things. Weak don't have any strength in his hand. Meek is patient, is humble. It seems like it takes a whole lot. but then it strikes like a cobra. Meekness. Meek is not weak. Meek is humble. Go ahead.
Verse 19. Many are in high place and of renown, but mysteries are revealed unto the meek.
Who are mysteries revealed to?
Unto the meek.
So we have to get a clear understanding of how to become meek in this walk. Go ahead, bro.
Verse 20. For the power of the Most High is great, and he is honored of the lowly. Seek not out the things that are too hard for thee, neither search the things that are above thy strength.
And basically all it's saying is stay in your lane.
That's right.
Stay in your lane. Why would you get into a contest with somebody you ain't studied to matter? These things are too hard for you. Somebody throw something out there. If you ain't studied it, or it's just too hard for you. If somebody keep telling you, draw me a picture of the kingdom. You know you can't do that. I don't care what dimensions you get. Your eyes have not seen that glory. You couldn't copy that on a piece of paper with a drawing pad and a pencil. It's way too high for you to even try to comprehend that. For one, you got to be free of iniquity for your mind to even come close to anything like that. That's why Enoch had to be taken away from her. Let's get some more.
Verse 22.
What it say?
But what is commanded thee, think thereupon with reverence, for it is not needful for thee to see with thine eyes the things that are in secret.
So you basically are saying, do you have to see it before you can believe it? Well, you're wasting your time in this walk, because ain't nobody seen the face of the Father. If they have, they dead. So if you saying the only way I continue read unless God show himself to me, well, you better find something else to do. Go play with a Rubik's Cube or a yo-yo. Go ahead, bro.
Verse 23. Be not curious in unnecessary matters, for more things are showed unto thee than men understand.
See, you already been shown more than the wise, so-called wise men even understand. Yo, they can't even figure out how to put a pyramid together like of old. That was a long time ago, 3,000 plus years for us. But the things already shown you outweigh whatever they're even talking about. How are they talking about building something supersonic and they're trying to mirror it after a chariot of God? They're saying something so far back. It's like today, we saying, man, if they could have seen an airplane today, boy, that would freak them out. No, they saw a chariot, something your eyes ain't never seen. Not one of the Lord that's described in Jasher 3rd and 4th chapter, Ezekiel 1st chapter. Those chariots that they're trying to compare to, that's why every extraterrestrial movie, they're trying to copy themselves after this thing, right? So they're trying to get the knowledge from old, at the same time making you think you're in the new age of technology. Y'all, G5 is coming, but it ain't nowhere close to the chariot of the Lord and its understanding. All G5 is going to do is just link us all up together and link everybody's money together. So when they turn it off, it's going to be as instant as you communicating on Facebook, live streaming, everything. It's going to be instant the same way. What you saying, bro?
Get your hands out of my pocket to another
to a whole nother level. When you going to talk about identity theft and your whole life savings gone, you think Birdie made off with everybody's money. Where do you get a load of this? Go ahead.
Verse 24. For many are deceived by their own vain opinion.
Right.
And an evil suspicion hath overthrown their judgment.
So in evil suspicion, if you're not prepared for any question somebody may be asking you about a subject, that matter is too great for you. If you're on a subject and you're bringing this forth and somebody come left field on you, you've had to be prepared for that because it's already written in scripture. The question they're asking you is not uncommon. You just ain't looked at that end of it because you may be too focused in one direction. The devil don't play like that. The devil hits it all directions. The devil will wait till you bend over and strike. Where we at?
Verse 25. Without eyes thou shalt want light. Profess not the knowledge, therefore, that thou hast not.
Don't be talking or bragging about something you ain't got a clue about. That's the first thing get you in trouble. Start hollering about a subject you ain't got a clue about. Then it get too big for you and you backpedal out and then you end up agreeing to disagree. In this walk, not in this walk. He says, I purify you through fire. And fire is always a walk through the wilderness. Let's get some more. What did it say?
Verse 26. A stubborn heart shall fare evil at the last, and he that loveth danger shall perish therein.
A stubborn heart shall fare evil at the last. It's like the thief on the cross. He could have been like the other boy. We up here for robbing and jacking. We up here because we supposed to be. He ain't did nothing. The other boy, the thief, evil at the end, he still fat mouth. Well, if he really the Lord, why don't he save himself and save us? So save you from all the robbing and jacking you've been doing. You want another change. You know what it was that got you caught, so you're going to fix that and jack some more, huh? Will you? Or will you be like the other boy? Said, I know I'm going to die for what I'm doing, but can I live again? Can I hang out with you? This day you'll be hanging out with me. Let's get some more.
Verse 27. An obstinate heart shall be laden with sorrows, and the wicked man shall heap sin upon sin. In the punishment of the proud, there is no remedy.
No remedy for the punishment of the proud. You have to be brought low. There ain't no middle ground. Break them down to half pride. No, you come all the way down. It's the only way for you to understand when you've been brought down for being prideful. Now you have to look up. It's an automatic look up. You ain't gonna be up high and then level back down eye to eye. All the way down. Let's get some more.
For the plant of wickedness hath taken root in him. The heart of the prudent will understand a parable, and an attentive ear is the desire of a wise man. Water will quench a flaming fire, and alms maketh an atonement for sins. And he that requiteth good turns is mindful of that which may come hereafter. And when he falleth, he shall find a stay.
See, so he that required a good turn, you always looking out for your fellow man or your brethren because you know what you're hoping to see. You ain't seen it yet, but you're hoping to see. This at the end of the matter. So y'all just wanted to hit those two so we get clear on understanding and what not to have in this understanding, to be prideful in this walk. Y'all be more meek about it. The humble you are, the more understanding you're going to get. It's just the way it works. You're not going to be like Lucifer, y'all. We already done had an example of what brought him down. So ain't no need in chasing that path because there's no remedy for the path. Here he is, got wisdom and brighter than all of the angels except the Messiah. But yet he came tumbling down. Now he barely got solar light that's been through 4 days of cloudness. You ain't gonna get much light.
Night light.
Night light. That's about it. Just enough so you don't stub your toe.
Y'all write this one down right quick too. Proverbs 16 and 32.
What it say,
He
bro?
that is slow to anger is better than the might.
Yes, sir.
And he that ruleth his spirit than he that taketh the city.
See, so you got to understand, y'all, when you think a matter out, you're thinking wise all four corners. If I do this, this gonna happen. If I do this, this gonna happen. What happens on the back end over here? All of that have to be thought out. But when that's already being practiced, it's not a hard thought process. It comes to you naturally. But if you quick to say, he got me messed up, grab your thing and jump in your car, you're going to be like Sonny on The Godfather. You're going to get the Sonny treatment. Let's get into some more examples of wilderness, y'all, when we start to get in it. And we're not going to go into detail on areas. What we're going to do is just consistently show you a trying period and then a miracle happening in a desolate place, a wasteland. That's what I want y'all to keep understanding, a wasteland. What we're trying to do is get back to the Garden of Eden, which was made a desolate wilderness, so to speak, is being prepared. And that's what we're trying to work our way back to. Because the garden was created before earth ever was. That's what we're trying to do. Hold that, just hit me a little bit of 2nd Ezra, chapter 3. So that we get a good understanding of what we're trying to get back to. And that the wilderness will never be this. This is being prepared. When the Messiah said, I go back to prepare a place for you, but it's going to be for a prepared people. You can't be in there unprepared. You ain't going to know what to do.
You want Ezra or Esdras?
Esdras. 2nd Ezra, chapter 3.
Starting at 1,
We're going to start about,
6.
we can start at 4.
That's on you, Ezra.
Right there.
Yeah.
The second book of Ezra, chapter 3, starting at verse 4. O Lord, who bearest rule, thou spakest at the beginning.
At the what?
At the beginning.
Right.
When thou didst plant the earth, and that thyself alone, and commandest the people, and gavest a body unto Adam without soul.
Without what?
Without soul.
Uh-huh.
Which was the workmanship of thine hands, and didst breathe into him the breath of life, and he was made living before thee. And thou leddest him into paradise.
Where he lead him into?
Into paradise.
See, yo, this is what we're trying to get back to. He led a man that had never sinned before into paradise. Ain't that where you say you want a vacation at? This is the ultimate vacation, paradise.
That's right.
Go ahead, bro.
Verse 6 again. And thou leddest him into paradise, which thy right hand had planted, before ever the earth came forward. And unto him thou gavest commandment to love thy way, which he transgressed, and immediately thou appointed death in him and in his generations, of whom came nations.
Who came who?
Nations, tribes, people, and kindreds out of number. And every people walked after their own will, and did wonderful things before thee, and despised thy commandments.
So y'all, after a while, y'all can read all of that and get to understand it, but paradise was created before the earth ever was. It's a righteous kingdom for obedient servants. That's what we're trying to come full circle to, but there's a wilderness we have to get through. A trying period because of Adam transgressed. It say immediately. Can y'all imagine that? The minute he stepped into the kingdom, sin was on. Yo, that's what the adversary, that's why we have to understand what's going to happen in the wilderness. Satan gonna be right there tempting you on your way to get to the kingdom. He's gonna be now your chief enemy in this location. But see, we keep reading it like it's gonna be void of him. I ain't seen that in the scripture yet.
No.
I've seen how things will be so rough, but our eyes will see supernatural things in there and miracles that's been happening throughout all and every wilderness that's mentioned. This ain't nothing new under the sun. Because this is the choice you come down to. If this thing go another 100 years, everybody in here, wilderness is what it is right now. Because you're going to be dead. So guess where you wake up at? You ain't going to wake up in the wilderness to be judged and then trying to go to the, you're going to wake up at judgment.
Are you ready?
Oh. Let's get it, y'all. Genesis chapter 21. We're going to start about verse 14.
Well, you shook Daniel a little bit. He said,
Boy, look, got to get ready, y'all. Every time you think you're ready, here come your adversary and make you like, dang, why I do that? Why I do that? That's the best words to say, not why did somebody make me do that. The biggest lie told is the devil made me do it.
right.
It ain't recorded in history that he makes you do anything. He asks you, what did God tell you? Let's get it.
Say this, go to verse 14.
14.
All right, Genesis chapter 21, starting at verse 14. And Abraham rose up early in the morning and took bread and a bottle of water and gave it unto Hagar, putting it on her shoulder and the child, and sent her away. And she departed and wandered in the wilderness of Beersheba.
So this is Hagar and Ishmael that it got too hot in Abraham's tent with Hagar and Sarah. They had to divorce Hagar, or Sarah did. And Abraham listened to the Most High because he told him, listen to your wife. And this thing troubled Abraham because of his son Ishmael. It didn't trouble him because of Hagar. It troubled him because his son, who had nothing to do with this. But he got to go. But he gave him bread and water to make sure, and they're wandering in the wilderness, an uninhabitable, unnurtured place. Let's read some more.
Verse 15.
What does it say?
And the water was spent in the bottle.
Y'all know what that means? It's gone like good candy. It's spent. Like when you spend all your money. What that mean? It's gone, ain't it? It's patent pockets. They don't need you patent. You think you can patent spend away? Get some more.
And she cast the child under one of the shrubs, and she went and sat her down over against him a good way off, as it were a bow shot. For she said, let me not see the death of the child. And she sat over against him and lifted up her voice and wept.
And she went as far as a bow shot. So y'all think about an archer shooting an arrow as far as it could go. And where it hits down at, that's how far she went away from the child, because she didn't want to see it die in the wilderness. Put it up under a little shade tree was there and went off. Now she's going through the wilderness, y'all. Go ahead, bro. Read some more.
Verse 17. And God heard the voice of the lad.
Of the who?
Of the lad.
So is God listening to Ishmael? Who's the lad? Who's the lad? He was raised in his word. That's right. Let's read some more.
And the angel of God called to Hagar out of heaven and said unto her, what aileth thee, Hagar? Fear not, for God hath heard the voice of the lad where he eats.
You see this? She said, look, your son, the seed of Abraham, we heard him. You good to go? Don't worry. Let's read some more.
Verse 18.
Arise,
lift up the lad and hold him in thine hand, for I will make him a great nation.
What kind of nation?
A great nation.
Oh, this is before Israel. Let's read some more.
And And God opened her eyes, and she saw a well of water. And she went and filled the bottle with water and gave the lad drink.
Now, we was on the brink of death, and now it's resuscitation.
Mm-hmm.
See, but then he opened her eyes, so now she's seeing something that was already there. Y'all, we just don't understand the supernatural that's around us right now. If God was to open our eyes up, if something was about to happen here, he would open our eyes and we would actually see a portal and run to it and escape danger. Just like that, even though being in the midst, but he'll pop your eyes open and you can see. You be like, look, and that wall is, y'all, it's not what Hollywood does is not made up by them. What they're doing is copying the stories that they've been told because they're not creators. Satan is not the creator. He's an imitator. And who's ever serving him is imitating the creator. His spin is just going to be so he gets the glory. Go ahead, bro.
When you were saying, I was studying the book of Joshua about the staff of Adam.
Yeah.
And passed all the way down to Moses and thought about the sword and stone. That's probably what they had.
Man, all of it they get from here. All of it. It's no other book that they're copying from. This last hurricane just happening now, tearing up everything. It's of what kind of proportion? Not the Book of the Dead proportion.
No.
Not the Mormon proportion. Not the Jehovah's Witness proportion. Okay. Not Buddha proportion. So that today we get to see, and you're going to ask, somebody's going to ask, where in the Bible does he do things like that? And you get it real easy. You'll see all throughout here, tormenting them with his storms. Y'all, a whole row tore up in one house standing here ain't been touched. Think about the ones that have to come back to that wilderness, which it is now, ain't it? And you got the only house standing. First, you got to get past what's called, what is it? Remorse? What? Survivor's remorse. Why is my house the only one standing? The devil could get right at you because you righteous. Boy, instant O.J. Simpson, Barry Bonds, combined head this big. I'm talking about kazoo big. No, man. Go ahead, bro. Read some more.
Verse 20.
What it say?
And God was with the lad, and he grew and dwelt in the wilderness and became an archer.
So in this land of uninhabited, desolate place, he grew in that space. So when you see Revelation 12 and it's saying that we were nourished for this many times in there, this lad is being nourished in here, ain't he? Mm-hmm. And who was with him? So y'all understand, because Revelations say we should be nourished in the wilderness, don't mean that we're not going to see rough times in there. You're just going to learn how to deal with rough times. If you don't know how to turn the oven on and the heat acting up, somebody going to be cold. One air conditioning there, wherever that room is, there's got to be pallets made. Everybody sleep here so there's a good night's sleep and you wake up refreshed for the morning, because you can't sleep when you're hot. It's rough. It's elbows thrown when it's hot in the wee hours. I told you no. It's too hot. Where we at?
Verse 21. And he dwelt in the wilderness of Paran.
Paran or Iran. Go ahead.
And his mother took him a wife out of the land of Egypt. And it came to pass at that time that Abimelech and Phicol, the chief captains of his host, spake unto Abraham, saying, God is with thee in all that thou doest.
Y'all see how he's a light to the other nations? God is with you in everything you do.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all, that's what we're trying to look for as we move through the wilderness. That those that see us say, we will go back with you, for we know God is with you. Where do you think they're going to come from? They're going to come out of the wilderness. And we're going to get to the point, is the wilderness a location, or is it more the people you're surrounded by? Is the chaff and the wheat together, grow up together, and they get separated at the end? So are they growing up together in the wilderness? When the mark of the beast hit, who's going to be excluded? Huh? Is there a location, mark of the beast free? Is that written?
No.
That's the question. See, we ain't gonna get into things too high for us, meaning just like the scripture said, because everybody got a location of where it's gonna be. And everybody got a scripture that say it can't be in that location. So why should we continue to spin our wheels on that subject matter that don't have an end to it versus getting on the subject matter of what to do wherever that location may be? Then I'm prepared for that location. But if I get to that location and ain't no hammock there, and a midget Mexican like tattoo as the waiter, some people think it's gonna be this in the wilderness. Oranges, apples, and grapes. Thank you. In the wilderness? Where we at on that verse?
Verse 23.
What it say? We can hold that. Just want to get right to another one. Numbers 21. And y'all, this is after we left Egypt. Y'all, we saw the miracle bringing us out. Y'all, and this is what you have to understand. You're watching a miracle bring you out of a location into a location to be tried, to get to another location. The wilderness is not the location. The wilderness is just to get you through to the location. Numbers 21, we're going to start about verse 10.
Who got question?
Who got a question? Go ahead, LC.
You know, like I said, underground bunker will hide you from what's coming through, you know.
What's happening now? The underground bunker?
The underground bunker like this will help for what's coming to them. And they gonna do that, you making it today.
Look, there shall be earthquakes in diverse places. An earthquake hit a bunker, you just buried in concrete and dirt. Earthquake toppled buildings. Who done tested an underground earthquake-proof bunker yet? And come up out of, what was that, a 7.7? Gee, ain't nothing. I'm cool. Ain't no reports yet. It's like the Titanic. They say it's unsinkable. God himself cannot sink it. But there's something called an iceberg from God's work of changing of season and freeze over. Cut through it quicker than a welding torch. And once they say you've taken on water, it's a two-piece. It's gone like good candy. Swallowed up, whole, and still on the bottom of the ocean to this day. And only 2 miles down.
Can't go get it.
And can't go get it. Yeah, movies are how we like to go get it. But it's Hollywood to get you to go. That was a good movie. Man, that was good to raise it. But when you walk out and get in your car, what's the reality of the matter? Where is the Titanic? Let's read some more, y'all.
Still on me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, the book of Numbers, chapter 21, verse 10. And the children of Israel set forward and pitched in Opal.
And pitched in Opal. See, we're moving through the wilderness. Look, y'all, it's like the Feast of Tabernacles that we had. How we set up camp. We would set up camp there for a few days, and then we pack it all up and move to another location. And y'all, we had to do this consistently going through. And like I made mention on the show last week, when we talk about, if any of y'all old enough to remember the movies, The Warriors. Mm-hmm. Remember how they were going through the wilderness of New York or wherever it was. They had to get through Coney Island and to the safe place, so to speak. Some people let them pass. Others, they had to scrap. In wilderness, because of its design, it was designed from law breaking. That's how wilderness came to be. You were in a righteous location and you broke the law. So now this place can't bear fruit from the root like it's supposed to. It's wilderness. Like the Pruitt I go over there, they finally finna build something over there. So all of them chemicals, probably the earth is ready. Well, it's free of contamination, so to speak, because it's just aging on over there. Ain't nothing sit that desolate that long. And do y'all see how long it took for trees to get this tall? Let's read some more.
Verse 11.
What it say?
And they journeyed from Opal and pitched at, how you pronounce it?
Thank you, brother.
In the wilderness, which is before Moab, toward the sunrise.
So right here, they've already been through two nations or groups of people, so to speak, or cities. There's two in one verse. In where they still at, what is it still called? The wilderness. They're moving through cities that don't have the law of the Most High. It's a wilderness. Anything could grow there. That's what a wilderness is. Anything goes. Growing wild. Let's get some more.
Verse 12. From thence they removed and pitched in the valley of Zered. From thence they removed and pitched on the other side of Arnon, which is in the wilderness that cometh out of the coast of the Amorites. For Arnon is the border of Moab, between Moab and the Amorites.
So it looks like the wilderness always been amongst the people. Is it anything new? We're moving through Amorite land. So the wilderness is still uninhabited locations without the law of the Most High. You can't set root in it. You're going to pass through and see all of what defiled. Where can we go in America that is clean, free of defilement? Where you going to pass through? Name it.
Definitely like the church.
Right.
If that's the case, y'all, wherever that place is, it'll be called the last Baptist church. It'll be there. Not the first, second, or third, fourth, fifth Baptist church. The last Baptist church. It's the one at the end of the road.
Yep.
Get some more.
Verse 14.
What it say?
Wherefore it is said in the book of the wars of the Lord.
The book of the what?
The wars of the Lord.
Y'all, do y'all know this was war? There was a book written about us going through the wilderness, warring with the nations. Do y'all see this yet? There's no lip twitching going through the wilderness. You got to be on guard. No lip twitching. That's when you doing that when you sleep, you waking up hungry. You almost eating in your sleep, but somebody's just preventing you. That's what you want to really do. Go ahead.
Verse 14 again.
Yes, sir.
Wherefore it is said in the book of the wars of the Lord, what he did in the Red Sea and in the brooks of Arnon.
And see, we just reading about Arnon a little bit up. It's a book of the war of the Lord. Y'all, that book may be hid in the Vatican. See, so you get an understanding of how we had to be prepared to go through the wilderness. Y'all, this wasn't a piece of cake, but what he was showing us is the supernatural power that was following us, that all the nations had to see us pass through the midst of. You know why? Because there's an oath that you swear in Jeremiah 4 and what Abraham did in Jeremiah 4 on the splitting of the calf, but they messed it up. But what Abraham, when he split the calf in Genesis 15, I'm sorry, the word you walk between it. That oath is so powerful and solid that it's called the splitting of the calf, that oath. And when we're going through the nations, y'all, we're actually splitting the calf, so to speak, and walking through as the oath, as God's chosen people to all the rest of the world. They bagging up like this. And you coming through the middle of it. Some don't want to bag up. You know how it be. Y'all gonna have to bring to get some. And we had to bring it. Let's get some more.
Verse 15. And at the stream of the brooks that goeth down to the dwelling of Ar, and lieth upon the border of Moab. And from thence they went to Beer. That is the well whereof the Lord spake unto Moses. Gather the people together, and I will give them water.
See, the Most High will give us water when we make it to a location. This is now you're seeing that paradise that speak of when you're saying these things gonna flourish in the wilderness. Go through that city, and then the water well is right there. But if you say, man, I'm tired of fighting. Why you just can't give us no water? What you bring us out here for?
Follow him up.
So he said, get to this next point. Water is there. But y'all, we give up so quick. I can't even make spit. I can't go. Y'all going without me. No, I'm just playing. Hold up. Well, yeah, go ahead, bro.
Verse 17. Then Israel sang this song. Spring up, O wells, sing ye unto it.
See, y'all, we actually sung to the elements in the wilderness. We sung that song. You producers out there, I see it already. Then Israel sang this song. Spring it up, oh well. So looking for some lyrics to be hidden. Go ahead. We need to know that song, y'all, if we're going to be moving to the wilderness, don't we? Let's get some up.
Verse 18. The princes dig the well. The nobles of the people dig it by the direction of the lawgiver.
By the direction of the what?
The lawgiver.
See, we just wasn't digging anywhere and hoping to spring a leak. The law said dig right here. But y'all, you notice how we still had to put elbow grease in. Get a shovel and dig right there. That's where your water at. You ain't gonna just hold your hand through the wilderness. The trumpet, get a shovel. How thirsty are you really, Nate?
Put in some work, right?
Get some up.
With their staves, and from the wilderness they went to Mattanah, and from Mattanah to, how you pronounce it?
Nahaliel,
and from Nahaliel to Bamoth, and from Bamoth in the valley that is in the country of Moab to the top of Pisgah, which looketh toward Jeshimon.
See, so it's in the valley of Moab, so it's the wilderness part of these nations. But you're still going through people to get to the land that's promised to you. You're still going through groups of people. You're separating, you're splitting them, and you're moving through them. Y'all, here we come. The nation's standing back and watch. There they go. There go. Go ahead, bro.
Verse 21. And Israel sent messengers unto Sihon, king of the Amorites, saying, let me pass through thy land.
What he's asking?
Let me pass through thy land. We will not turn into the fields or into the vineyards. We will not drink of the waters of the well, but we will go along by the king's highway until we be past thy borders.
So y'all wondering how King's Highway got named. And why it stretches from one end of the city all the way to the other. It stretches from West Florissant all the way to what? Past Chippewa.
Yeah.
Walk down King's Highway at night.
Till it ends. It's a long boulevard.
Yeah, it ends up there past Chippewa.
Yeah, past Chippewa.
Yeah.
You might have to fight walking through it.
Hey, until we be past thy borders. Y'all see what we dealing with in the wilderness? Y'all, miracles is still going on. It's not that miracles ain't happening, but you have to be in trials to see the miracles manifest. Or you want to go back. Or you gonna want to go back.
Yeah.
Let's read some more.
Verse 23.
What it say?
And Sihon would not suffer Israel to pass through his border, but Sihon gathered all his people together and went out against Israel into the wilderness.
Into the where?
Into the wilderness. And he came to Jahaz and fought against Israel.
Yo, that's in the wilderness.
Yeah.
Scrapping to get through. Miracles happening. Wells of water springing up. Food being prepared for us. But yet, what are we doing? Fighting for our life. To get to the promised land. Y'all, that's faith, because when you see them opposing individuals right before you and you're saying, I got to go through them. Yes, you got to go through them to get to the other side, but I'm with you. Watch it. And you got to quit your knees from shaking and just start walking toward them, and they'll move back. That's how easy it is. Go ahead, bro. Shalom, y'all.
Verse 24.
So, Boopy.
And Israel smote him with the edge of the sword.
What Israel do?
Smote him with the edge of the sword and possessed his land from Ornan unto Jabbok, even on to the children of Ammon. For the border of the children of Ammon was strong.
So they were strapped, y'all. So y'all, we was working out with sword in the wilderness, the book of the war of the Lord. It says in Exodus, y'all, for thou art a man of war. David was like this. Y'all ready to go into a land and conquer. We were not scouting into lands to see if it's going to be pleasant in somebody else's land.
That's right.
That ain't never been the scout mission. The scout mission was to see what they got. They strong on the border. Y'all know what that means? They mean they got their best men strapped on the border. They men are the wall. They ain't worried about Trump building a wall. They men are the wall. We got to go through that wall, y'all. Let's read some more.
Verse 25.
What it say?
And Israel took all these cities, and Israel dwelt in all the cities of the Amorites, and Heshbon, and in the valleys thereof.
So I just want to read that, y'all, to let we get a clear understanding of what was taking place as we move through the wilderness. We're talking about our shoes and wow, and we got manna bread, y'all, but we were scrapping amongst the wilderness of the people. Moving through, y'all, ain't nothing different that's gonna happen for us that it wasn't happening. It just was in one location. Standing Egypt, who was ruling the world, that was the only difference. Coming out of one location, but still going through multiple nations. So it's not like the wilderness, you're gonna go to one nation and then you're gonna chill and then you're gonna end up here. No, you got to go through them nations and you scrapping with it. You have to take it. If you go back to Ghana, you have to take Ghana. You can't become a natural citizen of that land or wherever else we say the wilderness may be. You're going to have to take it. You're not going there to be buddies. You're going to have to take the land. Now, who we prepare for over there to handle the taking of lands with our supernatural behind us? Let's get some up.
Verse 26.
That'll be the last verse. Go ahead.
But Heshbon was the city of Sihon, the king of the Amorites, who had fought against the former king of Moab and taken all his land out of his hand, even unto Ornan.
See, so we was dealing with scrapping nations. These were no poop butts. These were men that knew how to war. But y'all, for every nation to bow to us, you have to understand they have to have something in here that they know. No, them Israelites. No, y'all don't mess with them.
Right.
Y'all seen what they did to such and such in Moab at the brook, at that border, and they were strapped with the best of them. Man, they went through them like they was wet toilet tissue. No. Boy, let's read just a little bit more on these wars. The book of Jasher, chapter 87. Y'all, we're going to speed this up then and I just want to get right to the heart of the matter so we understand what we are facing. Y'all get into the wilderness wherever it may be. Some of us, this is already a wilderness, the way they kill it, the way we suffer.
That's the strength and knowledge, the strength for us.
Yes, sir. You got to have it, man, because you can't have no fear there.
None.
That's how I say they are nothing. Go take it.
Right.
I said you got them. Go take it.
Right.
What I care about he 10 foot and you 5 foot with heels on.
Uh-oh.
Go take it. Huh? I'm talking about dress shoes got heels. I didn't say stiletto. I said heels. Well, I ain't seen nobody in here with gaiters on and no heels. These bozo gators.
Platform, I'm gonna get you sucker and fit.
Yes, sir. That's right. Go ahead, hit that 87:1.
Jasher chapter 87, verse 1.
What it saying?
At that time, the Lord said to Moses, behold, thy days are approaching to an end. Take now Joshua, the son of Nun, thy servant, and place him in the tabernacle, and I will command him. And Moses did so.
So can y'all understand what Moses is having to do? He said, yo, today I told you I was going to put you to death about what you did out there in that wilderness with that staff. The day coming up now. So go and talk to Joshua. So you've been told you're going to be put to death. Go tell him what he need to do. The instructions I gave you, give them to him, and you better not mess up one word of it.
Train your replacement.
Train. Perfect what I'm talking about. If any of y'all ever been downsized out of a company, you train your replacement. Now look, you're gonna be gone anyway, so what you ain't gonna tell them? That'll be just spite. But you offered to train your replacement for a few extra days. See, everybody else been let go already, but you still on the clock because you agreed to train your replacement. Everybody else got mad. Man, you're training my job. Let them learn it on their own like I did. Okay. Let's read some up.
Verse 2.
What it say?
And the Lord appeared in the tabernacle in a pillar of cloud, and the pillar of cloud stood at the entrance of the tabernacle.
Do y'all see the supernatural events that's going on here in this wilderness? Still supernatural. The Lord just come visit us in the wilderness. Go ahead.
And the Lord commanded Joshua, the son of Nun, and said unto him, be strong and courageous.
Be fearful and weak.
Be strong and courageous.
Be timid and trembling.
Be strong and courageous.
Go ahead.
For thou shalt bring the children of Israel to the land which I swore to give them, and I will be with thee.
And I will be what?
And I will be with thee.
Okay.
And Moses said to Joshua, be strong and courageous.
See, Moses ain't breaking no more rules, is it? Go ahead.
For thou will make the children of Israel inherit the land, and the Lord will be with thee. He will not leave thee nor forsake thee. Be not afraid nor disheartened. And Moses called to all the children of Israel and said to them, you have seen all the good which the Lord your God has done for you in the wilderness. Now therefore, observe all the words of this law and walk in the way of the Lord your God.
See, he said, you have seen all the things that the Lord has done for you. Where? In the wilderness. So that's a nourishing. So when you read Revelation 12 and you understand we'll be nourished in the wilderness for 1,290 days, it don't mean you just gonna be in this mode. Right. It ain't just that. You just ain't gonna have your feet up. How you gonna get comfortable in the wilderness? Let's read some more.
And walk in the way of the Elohim your power. Turn not from the way which the Elohim has commanded you, either to the right or to the left. And Moses taught the children of Israel statutes and judgments and laws to do in the land as the Elohim had commanded him. He taught them the way of the Elohim and his law. See what he keep teaching them, y'all? Have we seen anything different? No matter where the location at, what is he teaching them? So location, if you got this wherever you at, it appears that the Most High be with you. Wherever you be, whatever trial you're going through. If you got these, you wrapped in protection. Let's read some more. And he taught them the way of the Elohim and his laws. Behold, they are written upon the book of the law of Yahweh, which he gave to the children of Israel by the hand of Moses. And Moses finished commanding the children of Israel. And the Elohim said to him, saying, go up to the mount, Abraham, and die there.
And do what?
And die there. And be gathered unto thy people as Aaron thy brother was gathered.
So how do y'all think that feels in the wilderness? You done seen all these miracles. You done seen the miracles that you were allowed to perform. That's where you're going to be buried at. Get this step.
The ultimate time out.
Get the step. And the ultimate time out. And he went and he stepped into death, into the next realm, so to speak. And all his troubles started where? They caused this death. In where? In the world. So he never come out of the wilderness. But he saw and he still trusted to his end day. His day ended like Samson's. Because they were in the wilderness of the Philistine. He was supposed to take it. But he fell in love with Delilah. And say always sleeping on her lap. And she stroking his locks. Couldn't get enough. Bring me my pillow, baby. Her lap. Strong man got took down, but at the end, just like Moses, I want to do my job, but I know I got to die doing it. And that's where Hebrews 11 picks it back up. So it wasn't suicide for Samson. It was the task he took on to take the Philistine could have cost him his life anyway. He just got back to the way it was supposed to be. I'm going to lose my life in this war. That's what we've been told all along, getting through this wilderness, ain't it? But if you lose your life, you should do what? Gain it. Long as it's for the Lord's sake. You can't lose your life out there gambling in the wrong part of town.
Can't lose it for the love of the block boy.
No. Block don't love you. You don't give up your life for that. All you gotta do is go to jail and see if commissary get put on your books. Where we at? Verse what?
Verse 10.
Okay.
And Moses went up as the Lord had commanded him, and he died there in the land of Moab by the order of the Elohim.
By the order of who?
Of the Elohim. In the 40th year from the Israelites going forth from the land of Egypt.
Now y'all have to really think about this. A 16-day journey turned into 40 years, and he still didn't make it out.
Disobedient.
And look, y'all, this was just a hitting a rock. But see, if we knew the things, look, don't worry about them moaning. Let them moan. Water, as soon as y'all get through this group right here, is water over there. You believe it or you don't. They start murmuring. The first thing they did, it was fear. You see these other nations and the strong man standing at the border. You're like, how we gonna get through them? Go through them. Like they ain't even there. But scared and want to go back. And all you want to do is go back to captivity. We finished that.
One more.
Read that one more.
And the children of Israel wept for Moses in the plains of Moab for 30 days. And the days of weeping and mourning for Moses were completed.
See, that was a 30-day mourning. There's 40-day mournings. There's 7-day mournings. There were time periods how long you could mourn. You can't cry yourself to death about somebody else, because you're going to die soon. You can't cry about their death and make your death come. Shalom, brother. Let's get it, y'all. Number 16, verse 1 through 11. Y'all, I'm going back because I wanted to match this up with that Jazz in 87. And not only will you have wars in this wilderness, y'all, are the people we trying to get through. Y'all, what you are going to have is people within your own compound, what we call rebel rousing. It's going to be along with you on your journey. So how you think you're going to get through your journey? First, you got to be able to show the nations that you ain't playing around. And you take down those with you to get to where you got to go. Numbers 16:1. What did it say?
Numbers chapter 16, verse 1. Now Korah, the son of Ishmael, the son of Kohath, and the son of Levi, and David, and Abraham, and the sons of Eliab, and On, the sons of Peleg, sons of Reuben, took men.
Now this Dathan, y'all, this the same Dathan that was in Egypt. You'll see Edward G. Robinson playing them in the Ten Commandments when they show Charles and Heston. Edward G. Robinson was the one, he said, you kill your own mother, wouldn't you? He said, if the Pharaoh, if it pleased the Pharaoh, I would. This same Dathan is in the wilderness. How did he get to the wilderness? Did he obey enough to put blood on his doorposts? Because those are the only ones that made it to the wilderness, those who put blood on their doorposts. So did anybody help him out and put blood on his doorposts? If they did, it's still trial time in the wilderness. If somebody try to skate through, get a little blood on their doorpost, guess what? You ain't made it in yet. You're going to be tried to see if you got the hookup. Because if you ain't got the ultimate hookup, y'all know what it is. Where their hand up back there? Y'all good? Let's read some more. Numbers chapter 16.
Verse 2.
Verse 2.
And they rose up before Moses with certain of the children of Israel, 250 princesses of the assembly, famous in the congregation, men of renown.
Famous in the congregation. Y'all, when this thing hit, because it got to be just like Egypt was coming out of there, you're going to have men of renown. The Jesse Jacksons, the Al Sharptons, the Louis Farrakhan, the ones who you thinking of going to be right in the midst of this wilderness. And they going to want to go back to the way they used to do things because, look, they're common men now. We're trying to get through the wilderness. Ain't no money. What you spending money on? Have we read anywhere here and they spent money at a corner store on the borders of Moab? No, everybody is broke down to regular. Everybody is broke down to regular. But that ain't gonna be comfortable with certain men in the wilderness, especially if you ain't trained yourself to be humble and meek. This is not gonna be a good lifestyle for you. You used to wearing Gucci and Uchi and Suchi. Now you done had on the same underwear for 2 months. The only difference is, look, it ain't no stains though. But that still ain't good enough for them. Cause look, our heels didn't wear out. Clothing didn't wear out. No. 2 weeks now, you have on drawers that look like somebody got a footprint in your seat of your shorts. Same clothes, wrinkle-free, lasting through your journey. That's the nourishment to show you what the kingdom would be like. It will be even better than this if y'all just obey. Just obey. Read some more.
Verse 3. And they gathered themselves together against Moses and against Aaron, and said unto them, Ye take too much upon you, seeing all the congregation are holy, every one of them, and the Lord is among them. Wherefore then lift ye up yourselves above the congregation of the Lord?
See, so they asking Aaron and Moses this. Now look, these the sons of Levi. So they really going against Aaron. You know, but Moses and Levi, both of them are Levites too. They like, so you think this is the same thing Miriam and Aaron said to Moses? You think the Lord only prophesied by you? Now it's been filtered down to the other people, even after seeing Miriam being struck down with leprosy. Still fat mouth about how God sets his order up and who he say, you move like this for me. Moses never went into the holies of holies as a high priest, so to speak. That was given to Aaron as the high priest to do it. But this is what's going to be saying. How y'all get to do it? Look, if the Lord wasn't with us, why we in the wilderness and got through, we didn't get killed in Egypt. He with us too. Y'all think it ain't coming? Let's read some more. Yo, this is why the scripts keep saying you got to learn how to love your brother. Love your brother. Love your brother. Because if you don't, that's who you're going to be warned with going through the wilderness. The other nations, you may have to hit a few, but you're going to have to try to figure out how do we get along to get along at the end. How you going to explain to your auntie that you killed your cousin? Auntie, I know he was your favorite, but I told a nigga third time he stepped on them Jordans, that was it for him. At the funeral, you trying to tell your auntie why you killed her son. This is the way it was in the wilderness. Trying to get through with your nations and the other nations watching. Read some more, bro.
Verse 4. And when Moses heard it, he fell upon his face. And he spake unto Korah and unto all his company, saying, Even tomorrow the Elohim will show who are his and who is holy, and will cause him to come near unto him. Even him whom he has chosen will he cause to come near. See,
Moses immediately fell on his face to rectify it. He said, I ain't gonna argue with y'all. I'm gonna go pray to the Lord. All right, tomorrow the Lord will be here. He gonna point him out who he is, who belong to him. Now think about the hearts of men at that point. You already know Moses didn't talk to him. You know he dealing with Moses, and Moses saying, look, tomorrow he's showing up, and he said he gonna pick out who he is. Every man at that point should be getting in the sackcloth. Read some more.
Verse 6. This do, take you censers, Korah and all his company, and put fire therein, and put incense in them before the Elohim tomorrow. And it shall be that the man whom the Elohim doth choose, he shall be holy. Ye take too much upon you, ye sons of Levi.
So Moses turned it back on them. Y'all think y'all was thinking I'm taking too much on you. Just this minor task. Y'all taking on two more than y'all need to even bear at this point. Oh, y'all want some of this, huh? Do you? Y'all want some of this responsibility? Do you? No, y'all done took on more than y'all can chew. Read some more.
And Moses said unto Korah, Hear, I pray you, ye sons of Levi, seemeth it but a small thing unto you, that the power of Israel has separated you from the congregation of Israel, to bring you near to himself, to do the service of the tabernacle of the Elohim.
Right.
And to stand before the congregation to minister unto them. And he hath brought thee near to him, and all thy brethren, the sons of Levi, with thee. And seek ye the priesthood also.
So he's asking them the question. Look, he separated y'all from the other 11 tribes to be near him. He's gonna take care of y'all. Now y'all seeking to take on a responsibility, or y'all just want to get in on everything, do you? Y'all just want to run it. Period. So y'all thinking to take that position too, do you? Oh, okay. We'll see what happens. Go ahead.
For which cause both thou and all thy company are gathered together against the Elohim. And what is earned, that ye murmur against him?
See, and that's where it gets back down to this verse 11. And what is earned that y'all even talking about him? Y'all know he was given the high priest position. Y'all ain't got no problem even fatting up with him. Y'all crazy. What else to say, brother?
And Moses sent to call David and Abraham, the sons of Eliab, which said, we will not come up.
Who asking for us? Mo. Man, tell that nigga go on somewhere. Deal the cards. Go ahead.
It is a small thing that thou hast brought us up out of the land that floweth with milk.
Flow.
Oh, I'm sorry. It is a small thing that thou hast brought us up out of the land that floweth with milk and honey, to kill us in the wilderness.
To kill us where?
In the wilderness. Except thou make thyself altogether a prince over us.
So he like, oh, so this whole thing was your thing, huh? Nigga, you want to be in charge, bring us out here in the wilderness to kill us? That's also, that was your whole plan. We could have stayed in Egypt. See, but the thing gonna always be, why did you leave? How you gonna blame it on him now and you followed? Y'all, but that's how we get. Once it ain't satisfactory to us no more, and you tired of struggling, you want to go back to the old man or the old woman.
Then they saw the cloud by day and
Yeah.
by night. That's
Yeah.
what Moses, that was the son of God.
Yeah, but see, the thing is, wilderness preparation ain't there. So you can't deal with the things that are happening to get you to, you thought that was milk and honey? How is that milk and honey? And that's food that make you sick sometimes. That's food that can't give you eternal life. Y'all done ate manna bread. Y'all eat what angels ate here. And y'all want to go back to bread like that will get green on it. And what we call it? Mold. Y'all want to go back to that bread? And where's this scrapping and this argument's taking place at?
In the wilderness.
What you think the other neighboring cities saying? Look at them niggas arguing with each other. Them guys chosen people. Woo! Boy, make me a golden calf while you at it. I'm watching this sideshow over here. You give me a graven image, man, while we still watch this sideshow. Look at these niggas arguing with each other. Go ahead. And where was we at? In the where? Let's read some more.
Verse 14.
What it say?
Moreover, thou hast not brought us unto a land that floweth with milk and honey, or given us inheritance of the fields and vineyards. Wilt thou put out the eyes of these men? We will not come up.
See that what he's saying? Look at this rebellion, y'all.
Yeah.
Where's this rebellion taking place? Let's read some more.
And Moses was very wroth, and said unto the Elohim, respect not thou their offer. I have not taken one ass from them, neither have I hurt one of them. And Moses said unto Korah, be thou and all thy company before the Lord, thou and they and Aaron tomorrow.
So he went on to give them the requirement of the Lord, and y'all can read on and see what happened to y'all. But we're warring with ourselves trying to get through the wilderness. Y'all, so just cause you think it's going to be a place for all Israel to be at one time, to go home, y'all, it's going to be problems. Now you got the worst of the worst trying to get to the best. And it's full crab in the barrel syndrome. In the wilderness. How we arguing in a wilderness? A place that don't have natural growth. It's overgrowth. It's scorpions here and there. And we arguing and fighting in there. We didn't come out of Egypt. It's just us. We solo. It's just 12 tribes. And we can't even get through the wilderness. And people think it's going to be just that easy. We gathering all Israel together. Guess what you gathering for? This. We got to get prepared for how these things were handled and how you're going to have to deal with the naysayers. It ain't no cable TV in the wilderness. There's going to be plenty want to go back and Google. Want to Facebook and see who's still left alive in America. Yo, let's move this thing on, and we're going to read how the Most High, and then we're going to get into the ones of where he's going to make the wilderness look like the Garden of Eden. But that's just so we have our eyes focused on the prize at hand. You got to go to high school to get to graduation, don't you? You got to get them credits, right? We got to get them credits in the wilderness, y'all. If you ain't got the law, statutes, and judgment, you ain't gonna know how to deal with it because you're at the brink of dealing with whoever make it across. Y'all gonna be together for eternity. Whoever crosses the threshold will live among each other for eternity. And the battle is with your brother. Who is this? Told y'all I was gonna pay y'all tomorrow. Where we at, y'all? Let's get right into some Psalm 107. And y'all, we're gonna understand what pleading of the Lord is. See, a lot of us don't understand. We think pleading is thinking the Lord gonna be, come on now. Now, come on now, y'all saw what I did to Moses. Don't y'all get yourself in trouble. Please, children of Israel.
Yeah.
No, he don't plead like that. When he pleads, it's what you're gonna get. You're taking, he tell you, these are your options. Live and die, or do this, and you plead for that. It's the same way you do in court now, ain't it? You can take it to trial, or you can plead out. But plead is still a punishment, ain't it? 2 years paper. Better not be caught on the east side. Better not be in a car with no fellas. Hell, that's half my family. Yeah, who I'm gonna be around? Junebug just got out and man, he on papers. See who they want me to be with. That's what we face, y'all, in this wilderness. Better not be caught with them in the car. We pull you. Oh, felons riding together. Sir, he just taking me to work, but y'all felons. We're trying to do a good thing. Are y'all felons in the same car? Y'all minds may have changed before y'all got to the drop-off point. The devil may be in the back seat saying, ain't you tired of working? I know some Arabs and what time they go to the bank. Let's read some more. Where we at?
We're reading in the book of Psalms, the 107th chapter, and I believe we started at verse 31.
Yes, sir. And y'all read this whole thing and y'all will understand this is almost like wilderness, so to speak. Wilderness training, so to speak. We just getting down to the heart of the matter. Read verse 4 just of this, and then we'll skip down so we can understand where we at.
The book of Psalms, 107 chapter, verse 4.
What it say?
They wandered
in the wilderness in a solitary way.
So when bro read the descriptions of wilderness, one of them was what? Solitary. So once we get the understanding of solitary, then we can understand how we were moving through the wilderness in mental state. It was one of the things, a solitary place, a place to get your mind right. You want to get your mind right where it's trouble at, so when you get to the other side, you're free of that. You got through the trouble area of your life and everything around you. You got to do it where you at. You ain't went through no trouble if you just be plucked from this location and put in this location. You still got your bad behavior. You think a pedophile will change if you move him to a place where there's no pedophiles? Guess what's gonna be in a week? He gonna offer to babysit everybody. And they ain't tripping off of it because they think everybody like them. And when they come back, all their sons got on them Prince butt-out jeans. They be like, wait a minute.
Oh,
Who the babysitter? Let's read some more.
verse 4 again. They wandered in the wilderness in a solitary way. They found no city to dwell
They did what?
Found no city to dwell in.
Uh-huh.
Now we'll jump down to verse 31.
Right?
Oh, that men would praise the Most High for his goodness.
For his what?
For his goodness.
Uh-huh.
And for his wonderful works to the children of men. Let them exalt him also in the congregation of the people, and praise him in the assembly of the elders. He turneth rivers into a wilderness, and the water springs into dry ground.
See, he can flip the script on you. He can turn running waters, ain't no more water running out. Like, you afraid he's gonna dry up?
Mm-hmm.
Men will be able to walk across that river. Y'all picture the Mississippi River drying up and you can just walk over to East St. Louis. Just walk right across the Mississippi. Walk right over the Pops. What you got, LC?
It's already drying up.
It's already drying up. There'll be some walking across it soon. And we know what happened because we walked across the Red Sea. How do you see a wall of water standing like this and you walking through it and still get to, you're not through the trying parts, and still get out there and want to go back through that wall of water? And you've seen the wall of water collapse on your enemies. But you want to do what? Go back. See, it shouldn't get harder for you as you move through this life with wisdom and understanding. This walk should start to become easier because you're hacking off transgressions. You can't do what you was doing if you 50, almost 60, and you still doing the sins you was doing at 23. Your body ain't gonna hold up for that. It's not gonna hold up. You can walk 2 days with syphilis before you have to go to the doctor at 27. Try it at 57. This is what the script talks about, an old fool that dozes. That's like an old brother, 67 years old in the club. Come here, get out. You want a Pepsi with that drink? You're about to get a hold to something at this age that them youngsters' body will battle a little bit stronger.
That's where I get chlamydia in the eye.
Oh, boy. It's dangerous in this wilderness he's speaking of. It's dangerous in this wilderness he's speaking of. Oof. Let's read some more. I don't know what he's talking about. Okay. No, I'm just saying, I don't have no personal experience. I've heard of some things. Let's read some more, y'all.
The book of Psalms, chapter 107 and verse 34.
What it say?
A fruitful land into barrenness, for the wickedness of them that dwell therein.
See how places could be turned to a wilderness For what?
For the wickedness of them that dwell therein.
For the wickedness of them that dwell therein will turn a place into a wilderness. All we have to do is get in a location and everybody forget their responsibility and nobody takes accountability. Y'all know what it's going to look like. Let the trash don't get took out of here. Let the toilets don't be checked. What's going to happen next week and then you got company? Ain't nobody check. It's a log in there big as a puppy floating around. Trash over here, gnats out this. If the rules ain't kept up, because you're a holy people. You know, we're supposed to show examples of cleanliness. And that's going to take work. Let's read some up.
Verse 35.
What it say?
He turneth the wilderness into a standing water, and dry ground into water springs. And there he maketh the hungry to dwell.
Who he make it to dwell there?
The hungry to dwell. And they make prepare a city for habitation.
See, you got to prepare the city for habitation. So once you get all of the trouble cleared out, and now you got a people prepared for a prepared place. Who got what? Go ahead, sis.
You know, I'm sorry to go back. That word where they said dwell, that's the Hebrew term is nashah, which means that those that desire or yearn to remain where they are.
Right.
So when you were saying that they desire to stay in their sin, in darkness.
Absolutely. They rather go back to what you saw got destroyed for the wickedness. What are you going to go back there for? What do you expect to gain from that? Or you're saying that wickedness is better than what I'm watching here of the Lord. Where your mind at? Is it reprobate? Your mind worse than a penny with a hole in it. You have zero value at this point. Hell, a penny would get you something, wouldn't it? But not with a hole in it. You can go on a boat with a penny, not with a hole in it, though. Let's read some more.
Verse 37.
What it say?
And sow the fields and plant vineyards, which may yield fruits of increase. He blesseth them also, so that they are multiplied greatly, and suffereth not their cattle to decrease. Again, they are minished and brought low through oppression, affliction, and sorrow. He poureth contempt upon princes, and causes them to wander in the wilderness, where there is no way.
And what's in the wilderness? There is no what?
There is no way.
Not without direction, y'all. That's why you're wandering around, because there's no point of correction. You just wander. That's why we walked in a circle like we did. Because obedience is the way. All you have to do is obey and you quit walking in a circle. This is what this means when you say, I ain't gonna do it again. I ain't gonna do it again. How you gonna quit dope? You got $20 in this pocket. You said this is the dope pocket. This is all I'm gonna spend, but you got $600 in this pocket. But I ain't gonna go in that pocket. And you at the dope house?
Please.
Somebody else gonna go.
Go ahead, bro.
Verse 41.
Right.
Yet setteth he the poor on high from affliction, and maketh him families like a flock. The righteous shall see it.
They shall do what?
They shall see it and rejoice, and all iniquity shall stop her mouth. Whoso is wise and will observe these things, even they shall understand the loving kindness of the Most High.
See this example in the wilderness, he'll turn it around for some people who want to go back to what's worse than what you're trying to get through to get to a better time. And he wraps this up with whoso is wise, he will observe these things. Y'all, when we're talking about wilderness, how then do we get into some new thing or YouTube without observing what's already written about every form of wilderness that we ever been through? Whether before coming out of Egypt or after coming out of Egypt. The wilderness is always the same, a training and trial location. It's not a relaxation place. There's relaxation in it as you're going through your trial to let you know the Lord is still with you. If you had to go through the wilderness with heartache and pain all the way through, you're going to fall off easy. He makes a way when there's no way, and the best place to do it is in a wilderness when you think your back is up against the wall. It's the only way you trust the Lord. No water. The water was spit. Ain't nobody got no water. Spit is spent. Everybody got the Tyrone Bigum's mouth. Dried up, and the cattle's mouth was dry. And all of a sudden he say, dig right there. And everybody's drinking. Don't drink too much though, because we gotta move that way. Damn, again. You can't learn this in the kingdom. You got to learn it now while you have the opportunity, so you can be like this in the kingdom. Handmaids and servants. Change the channel. Where we at?
That's it on that, bro.
Let's get to Ezekiel 20:33, y'all. And this is the heart of the matter that teaches us what's going to happen when we enter the wilderness again. Now, everybody has a personal wilderness they go through, but as a nation of people returning to our rightful place, there's a different set of rules for it. It's rules you're going, maybe going, it's people going through the wilderness right now. It's cold and gas is off. That's a wilderness. It's decisions got to be made how we going to get through. We got 3 months. That's why the Lord tell you prepare for a season. The answer to it. And all he asks is be prepared for 3 months. Hell, the nation's going to help you out. They ain't going to come. The mule thieves won't get your car till you're 3 months behind. Rent, you don't go to court till you what? How many months behind? 3 months behind. So seasons. That's why he's saying that's all it's going to take. When the season change, your whole mindset changes when the season change. Going into this next season, y'all, is saying at least be prepared for 3 months, y'all. But y'all, in this wilderness, a lot of us ain't prepared for 3 more days to come. Look, the check that's coming at the end next 2 weeks is already gone. It's already gone, and you ain't got it yet. You're trying to figure out how I'm gonna add to what's already know is coming. You know what you make, and you know what's saying right here to be paid by this day. Them tough times. And then you throw in hollow stomachs and hard times with that. And we ain't even got to the wilderness yet. You got all these nations that done took the mark of the beast, and you coming through the middle of them. How you think they looking at you? Where we at?
We're in the book of Ezekiel, chapter 20. And we'll start our reading at about verse 33.
Yes, sir.
Everybody there?
And y'all, this is just a second witness on pleading. See, when we saw that in that Psalm 107, he said he was gonna plead with us. And plead is just, I'm handing out sentences. He's not begging you. Now, I know, you still got a little bit of that golden calf left in you, but can you just leave it alone so I can make sure you get in the kingdom? You think the Lord gonna plead with us like that? He telling you, this the choice you got to make. Right now, right here, before you get over there, you're not bringing that behavior in here. That's what got you walking crooked now. You want to bring that into the kingdom. The wilderness is to purge us from all of our bad and secret activity. Let's read some more.
The book of Ezekiel, chapter 20 and verse 33. As I live, saith the Most High Yah, surely with a mighty hand.
What kind of hand?
With a mighty hand and a stretched out arm, and with fury poured out, will I rule over you.
See, he's letting us know, I'm not going to ask your permission to rule over you. I'm going to rule over you with fury and a stretched out arm. I ain't going to beg you to live everlasting. Let's read some more.
Verse 34. And I will bring you out from the people.
Out from who?
From the people. And will gather you out of the countries wherein ye are scattered, with a mighty hand, and with a stretched out arm, and with fury poured out. And I will bring you into the wilderness of the people.
Of the who?
Of the people.
See, this is hard for some to understand. We're not going to be in no specific location. Your wilderness is the people that surround you. What's more wicked? To get through that, what's around you? When we come in here early, they was talking about activity. What was that on what street corner?
Over on the south side.
Over on the south side in front of a church.
Yeah.
Activity going on. Sexual behavior in front of a church in broad daylight on the sidewalk.
Yeah. It's on Facebook.
Looking at you like, get that camera out of here.
Yeah,
y'all can Google man sexual molest woman who's drunk in subway. I'm talking about a nice looking lady had too much and fell out waiting on the train. He pulls her skirt up and they're filming it and he's looking back smiling. Yo, when we get to the point where there's no shame and we ain't gone yet nowhere, you are going to see these things so that you get it up here and you say, I don't want no part of that. But if you start to see these things and lick your eyebrows, then the people will be passing through looking at you and you'll be standing back. Y'all, we have to see these things. So if your soul don't want that no more, don't want to be part of it, you're going to keep going through. You're going to keep going through it, knocking the nations out of the way to get where you need to be. And y'all, this is amongst the people. We ain't going to escape the people. The chaff is going to grow up with the wheat, and they're going to be separated at the end. So know what your wilderness is. We're going to keep hearing this. You're going to keep hearing your family members like this. You're going to keep hearing hollering, who ate the last piece of that pig feet pie? Till we get to the place where they don't allow it.
Wait a minute, what's that?
Boy, you ain't been down south, done no living. Boy, when a reprobate mind set in, anything is good on the table. Let's read some more.
Verse 35. And I will bring you into the wilderness of the people, and there will I plead with you face to face.
And he said, this is where I'm going to hand out your reward in the midst of the wilderness of the people. I'm going to have to whoop y'all first so the whole world will know what y'all finna go through and what to expect for those who get through this. I'm going to let the whole nation see how I get down. So they ain't going to have nothing to say. To those who make it through, the nation's going to have to get prepared for that. But there's going to be a separation. Let's read some more.
Verse 36.
What you got, brother?
Real quick, can I read this Isaiah 66, how he will plead with the people?
Yes, sir.
Second coming.
Yeah, go ahead, read that. That's good.
Isaiah 66, verse 15.
What it say?
For behold, the Lord will come with fire.
What he coming with?
With fire. And with his chariots like a whirlwind, to render his anger with fury, and his rebuke with flames of fire. Verse 16. For by fire and by his sword will the Lord plead with all flesh, and the slain of the Lord shall be many.
The slain of the Lord shall be many. Look, he pleading, but they're slain. That means he's handing out sentences, ain't it?
Yes, sir.
That's the plea case. You get death. You get through by the skin of your teeth. You get death.
Let me read, please, right quick.
Go ahead.
81:99. Shaphat, to judge.
To do what?
To judge.
Y'all hear that? To judge.
Govern, vindicate, punish, to act as lawgiver or judge or governor of man, to rule, govern, judge, to decide controversy, execute judgment.
Execute judgment. So get that out of your mind when they say the Lord will plead with you. He's not begging you for nothing. He's not begging you. This is judgment time.
Pronounce sentence.
Can you just stop? Just leave those boys alone, please, so you can enter the kingdom. You think that's going to happen? They say he coming with a sword, and the fury of the Lord is going to be there. Let's read some more.
We're at verse 36. Like as I pleaded with your fathers in the wilderness of the land of Egypt, so will I plead with you, said the Most High Yah.
And we've seen the judgments in the wilderness, the plea bargain for Dathan and his friend. What happened to them? 3,000 of them, the earth opened up and closed on them. This is different from a sinkhole that we see. We don't want to get and start mixing sinkholes up with what happened in the wilderness. A sinkhole is still there for you to view. This hole closed up on them. Ain't no talking about digging to see if you can get them out. That's their grave in the wilderness. 3,000 of them alive.
And the cattle.
And the cat, all of it, go with you. Now you think about this, and they had blood on their doorposts. You'd have been better staying in Egypt and take your chances there than to put blood on your doorpost and die in the wilderness of the people. Let's read some more.
Verse 37.
What it say?
And I will cause you to pass under the rod.
Uh-oh.
And I will bring you into the bond of the covenant.
See this calls you to pass under the rod of correction. Handling your business, he's pleading with you. You have to pass under the rod. Ain't none of this coming through the wilderness. Because this is what you be telling. Tell the Lord to come back tomorrow, man. I'm tired. He say, what? Dang. Let's read some more.
Verse 38. And I will purge out from among you the rebel.
The who?
The rebel.
Uh-huh.
And them that transgress against me.
Them that transgress against me. That's law breaking, ain't it?
Yes, sir.
Let's read some more.
I will bring them forth out of the country where they sojourn.
Uh-huh.
And they shall not enter into the land of Israel. And ye shall know that I am the Most High.
So you see, he said the pleading is wherever country you in. That's your wilderness. I'm bringing you from those countries to the land. You got to get your mind right in that land. You got to let go of that land while you in there. I need to know y'all can let go of wickedness while you there. Like what Job went through, never, ever lost his integrity. Like what Lot doing, seeing wickedness every day. Men just running greased up. You get the grease, I got the whip, and they just run past you next. All you can do is do this. I'm talking about to the point that where the angels had to move Lot back. Get back! And just blinded them men. I'm talking about had to blind them. They were looking at them angels like meat. Like hungry dogs looking at the angel. They had to blind them to get the lust look off of them. You know that look that homosexual have when they, for some reason, they like to buck their eyes this big when they looking at you. The come on look. Eyes this big. That's why they blinding them immediately. They looking at them angels like this, eyes like this. Lot, sent them out here that we may know them. Do y'all think that? And you're Raphael, and You're Uriel. You think that's the no they wanted to do? And y'all was sent by the Most High God. So tell me. Or do you think it's the other no? Adam knew Eve and she conceived.
Well, they said we don't want them daughters.
That's what they said. So it ain't hard to know what they wanted to know. What they wanted to know. Looking at them with that homosexual big eye look. You know, like if you look one look, you better don't look at me like that. See, you know with eyes like that, you know what's going on up in here. Because they can look at your feet to the top of your head with them eyes like this. Look you up and down the whole way. You ain't supposed to look at me like that, man. Read some more.
Verse 39. As for you, O house of Israel, thus saith the Most High Yah, go ye, serve ye every one his idols, and hereafter also, if ye will not hearken unto me, but pollute ye my holy name no more with your gifts and with your idols. For in mine holy mountain, in the mountain of the height of Israel, saith the Most High Yah, there shall all the house of Israel, all of them in the land, serve me. There will I accept them, and there will I require your offerings, and the first fruits of your oblations, with all your holy things. I will accept you with your sweet savor, when I bring you out from the people.
When I bring you out from where?
The people.
See, the wilderness among the people, I'm going to separate you from everybody that's around you. Y'all, now, if this is a location, there's other people you're going to be separated from. So that location still got trouble in it. Wherever it be, y'all. So that ain't what we're talking about. We ain't talking about location. We talking about preparation for that location. It ain't gonna be as pleasant as you think. Obedience bring the fruitful place. You're not gonna be disobedient in the wilderness and expect to be filled with living water and bread from on high. Being disobedient in your training process. It's like putting a tack in the teacher's desk in the timeout. You put in timeout, you putting tacks in her desk. What you there for? You there for your bad behavior, and your bad behavior is continuing. Let's read some more.
Well, what do you say then? If the other nations don't come up, they will get what?
No rain. Yes, sir.
Disobedience.
Disobedience. Pride. Let's read some more.
Verse 41. I will accept you with your sweet savor when I bring you out from the people and gather you out of the countries wherein ye have been scattered. And I will be sanctified in you before the heathen.
Sanctified in you before the heathen. Do y'all understand this is not a location where people are shut off from you? This, wherever this location is, the people see you keeping God's commandments, and you're the chosen that's coming out from that rod of correction. And they'll see you being sanctified in the heathen saying, that's them. That's the remnant who we got to serve. Get in shape. We got to serve. Let's read some more.
Verse 42. And ye shall know that I am the Most High, when I shall bring you into the land of Israel, into the country for the which I lifted up mine hand to give it to your father.
To give it to who?
To give it to your fathers. And there shall ye remember your ways and all your doings, wherein ye have been defiled, and ye shall loathe yourselves in your own sight for all your evils that ye have committed.
Look, if you and the partner make it who been done some evil, you're going to loathe in yourself. Man, you know we ain't supposed to be here, man. We supposed to have been dead. The Lord was with us on that mission, man. We supposed to be dead. You're going to loathe in yourself. Lord, forgive me. I know I ain't worthy to be here. You're going to loathe in yourselves just for that brief period of time. You're going to have to accept at that point, I'm not worthy to be here. Ain't nothing I did by works got me here. It's grace that saved me, that I'm here in this location right now. I done got through that wilderness, all what I saw and all what I participated in. Let's read some more.
Verse 44, and ye shall know that I am the Most High, when I have wrought with you for my name's sake, not according to your wicked ways.
Not according to what?
Your wicked ways.
You ain't gonna be clowning in the wilderness.
No.
And ruin his name. This is your trying period so the nations can see how he gets down, how I train them to get them prepared for a prepared place. You can't get prepared in the kingdom. You ain't gonna know what to do. Just like Dathan and them didn't know what to do in the wilderness. They were not prepared for the wilderness. The wilderness of Egypt. But all he had to do is do bootlicking. Mm-hmm. Like the new bootlicker, Kanye West. Mm-hmm. I ain't seen cooning like that in a long time. Kanye West and took it to another level. Hey man, look, when you have the top cones looking like, man, he done went too far. When you got Charles Barkley come out and say, wait a minute now, shit, he done went too far. Go ahead. What's up, Thomas? Who was? But you see how he was looking? He was looking like, I ain't seen cooning like this never. He looking like, man, let's just go home. He just sitting there with that cane. This is a coonologist. Now, he said some things that you have to always be and observe. You have to always know what Satan is doing. He said to abolish the 13th Amendment. What do y'all think that is? That Kanye said this. See, but this is not a deal that where you coon to get something done. You go to him if you got that connection with him, tell him, we need you to abolish the 13th Amendment. Well, what it is basically after you get let go of slavery, what's in the 13th Amendment, if you break law, you end back up in slavery. Right. So you're let go, but because of the rules of the 13th Amendment, they have you one foot on the banana peel and the other one ready to slip, one already in slavery and the other one on the banana peel. With the 13th Amendment, the way it's set up. You're free, but if you break a law, you're a felon riding with felons. That's 13th Amendment. We're gonna lock you up. Everybody in there on a weed deal or on plea deals. You wanna go home for that joint? Plead to probation. Know what that means? A record.
Yep.
50 to 60% of the people locked up are locked up on plea deals. So y'all have to understand that. Wait, did we finish that verse?
No, we'll start over.
Okay.
Verse 44 from the top. And ye shall know that I am the Most High, when I have wrought with you for my name's sake.
That's right.
Not according to your wicked ways, nor according to your corrupt doings.
To your what doing?
Your corrupt doings. O ye house of Israel, saith the Most High Yah.
See, and this is the problem with, if you want it to be all Israel and no other nation, then you got to accept the way the Lord is talking to you right here. I'm going to put my foot in your rear end, Israel, for your corrupt doings and your wicked ways. Who he talking to? Who is he talking to? He ain't talking about the other nation. He's talking about Israel. Your corrupt doings. And y'all, when we say something is corrupt, y'all know what it is. Y'all know what you say, Boofy? Yeah, that's it. But your corrupt ways, y'all, and y'all know what corrupt ways are. When you say, man, he ain't no earthly good. Basically what you're saying, that individual should be what? He ain't got nowhere else to be if he ain't on earth, but he shouldn't be here. His ways are corrupt. Let's read some more.
Verse 45. Moreover, the word of Yahweh came unto me, saying.
You can hold right there, bro. We just wanted to get into those to truly help you understand this is going to be like a Lot situation. This is going to be like a Noah situation. This is going to be your wilderness. Is going to be the people around you to watch wickedness and not yield to it. Because you have to understand, as more as the Holy Spirit is being turned out, Satan is turning his angels and his demonic beings. They're turning up the level on it. Craft shall prosper. Y'all, we're going to be battling witches. It's people casting spells on you in your everyday walk and you ain't even got a clue. You feel a cold chill go by and somebody walk by. Good morning. And you be like, wait a minute, that wasn't, I felt that. Y'all, the most satanic day on earth is coming up very shortly. All Hallows Eve. Now, you know something is with it when they won't even allow the Humane Society to allow you to adopt black cats. You're off limits on that day. Nobody can adopt black cats. Superstition is at a high level. They snatching babies. But the church in their corrupt way say, look, we play with the devil, but we're going to call it trunk or treat. Everybody bring your candy and just open up your trunk, and they can dress like whoever they want to. They just go to the trunk instead of strangers' houses. Well, don't you know strangers that's involved with trunk or treat is licking their eyebrows too? Go and get all the candy you want. Get them Snickers too. Look, don't tell your mama, it's a secret. I got more of these sneakers in my basement. And I got a puppy too. A puppy? You're gonna be more corrupt with that because you're trying to make something unclean clean. And those that perpetrate this, like it talk about an idol. It's worse the person that made it than the idol itself. That scoundrel who decided he was gonna pray to an inanimate object. Did I say that right?
Inanimate.
Inanimate object. It's worse for the person who done it. What you got, Theo?
A lot of this witchcraft you're seeing right now is just coming from the sons of Cain. You know, Cain deals with that dark magic and the dark sentences. And they practice that and pass all the way down to Nimrod. That's why he was so powerful. He's dealing with that dark magic. And so a lot of the stuff you see today just stems from that.
From the spirits of those before they crossed over the flood.
Right.
The giants didn't cross over, but those evil spirits did. And they jump on a man because Nimrod was a mighty hunter before the Lord, before he got too high up. He had the garments of Adam and Eve.
Right.
But he got pride jumped in it. And he went the other way. And he was dealing with him, and he was a Hamite. But he said he was a mighty hunter before the Lord. Well, Lord get whoever he wants to worship him. His disobedience is throughout what's called mankind. Whether it's Israel or it's the rest of the world, all of them going to be judged by his laws, statutes, and judgments. Where we at? Yes, ma'am.
There was something that went out on they were talking about the Baphomet and how that was going to be an outward worship now.
Baphomet? Yeah. Oh, yeah, they got statues up now. They put them up in front of churches.
Yeah.
The big Baphomet statues are out now, y'all. Y'all, and where this amongst us? I mean, but where you gonna go? They ain't got a statue of wickedness at. Where is that at on earth? Where is it at? That you're not going to be surrounded by a group of people that's worshiping other gods. They don't want to believe you're the people because that's the end of their reign. That's why we're not going to go and be friends with nobody in another nation. We have to take that nation. If that's wilderness, we run the country. We don't share the country. We come here to take it, for just a spot for a few seconds, and then we moving on. If that's your version of the wilderness, but you're not staying and rooming and getting dual citizenship with nobody. It ain't on record how we move through wilderness. We don't do it. We go and spy the land and say they got strong men on this side. Send our best boys over there, and we got it. You don't spy the land to join up with them. Man, they're giving out food stamps. They got a Roman noodle, a Roman noodle pantry.
All flavors.
We just spied it out. They got pig feet surprise. No, none of that. What you got to say?
The second part is that just recently, they have something really planned for Halloween this year.
They got what?
Some things planned for Halloween.
Oh, yeah.
So they actually want to shoot in particular. How much time they're not doing. Those are your love, please. If you want to get rid of them, that's fine. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
The second part is when you were talking about how they took Adam's clothing,
Right,
and gave them great power.
yeah.
They were saying that Rome had those clothing.
They could be in the Vatican. They holding on to a lot of stuff. They stole a bunch of the treasure. You can get a book, Imperial Rome. You can see them carrying the treasure off to Rome. Y'all, these things are passed down and they're in the hands of these people. The book of the war, the Lord, is they got on lockdown because it's divulging too much information about who we are. So y'all have to understand that's what we are amongst. People trying to be who we are, and then you got a mirror image of the kingdom coming that's being set up now. And we can't fall for that imitation. That kingdom saying there will be no wrath before it's set up, and you'll be in the kingdom. That ain't what these scripts saying. The scripts say you're going through the wilderness of this people. You're going through the wilderness of the nations. You're going to be tried among people. You're not going to hide in Grant's farm until he comes. You're going to have to be proven that you can rule over nations because you walk right through them with power and dignity and law keeping. And you were rewarded that type of strength so they bag up when they see you coming. That's the only way you're going to see 10,000 falling at that right side and this many falling at their left side. You ain't going to be able to do that with disobedience, especially against your brother. Because the whole world watching y'all going through fighting with each other. Move, you woman. Move, and then y'all stop. They gotta stop and break a fight. Put the tents down. Put everything down. Y'all break that up. Y'all break. On the way to the kingdom, and other nations looking. Go ahead, sis.
And I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
But the second part, or I should have said the first part, was that you have to understand that the fake Jews, they have a preeminence over the Catholic Church.
Yeah.
So they're the ones that actually dominance.
The Messiah.
And people say that Trinity is the church by itself, but it is actually.
The church is doing their dirty work.
And
yeah, and they're sitting in the Holy Land.
Yes.
I want y'all to think about that. They got to be cleared out of there for you to get over there. You can't worry about going no other where. They got to get out of there for you to take that over. These other stop off points, that's a waste of time. They got to get out of there. There ain't no other way to put it. They have to go, and you have to remove them from there. Now, America is on lock as their defense force. You leave this Babylon and you going home, guess who they allies with? They're this close together. Babylon reaching to the homeland, the system of Babylon. It has to go. You have to navigate through the system of Babylon to get to your homeland. And guess who's sitting there like this? Chief Nebuchadnezzar on your father's throne in Israel. The Antichrist. Now you want to get bad and settle for anything and join up with anybody, then join up for the New World Order. Because that's what it's going to be. They give you this little piece of land over here. You satisfied with that? We're talking about these promises. If you done went through the land and saw the miracles he's doing, how then is you going to settle back for Egypt? Unless you take them, you are going to agree to men wearing butt-out jeans. Because that's what they're doing over there now. It's the largest homosexual parade on earth in Jerusalem. And that's where you have to go through to get to where we need to be. And we're concerned about another plot of land. Where we have to be is contaminated. What are we going to do about that? But you can't go in there and still have contamination on you. Guess what's going to happen? You're going to fall back to your old ways. You run up in there with a sword and see your delight. Oh. Let's get back to this, y'all. We ain't got long. Joel chapter 2, verse 1 through 13, y'all. Now what we're moving into these last few scripts, y'all, we're moving to how the wilderness then is transformed into the Garden of Eden, because all our disobedience, all our wicked ways, all of our bad thought processes have been eradicated out of us. So now we get to the scriptures that say, now you deserve what you're getting. But y'all, we have to see it amongst these people like other people did. How y'all gonna look at Lot and what he went through, and all we want to do is just go somewhere where there's a hammock for us to lay down in? No, you don't want no responsibility. Joel chapter 2, verse 1. Y'all, we ain't got but a couple more. Just you, baby.
I want everybody to keep that. Everybody there? All right, the book of Joel chapter 2, starting at verse 1. Blow ye the trumpet.
Do what?
Blow ye the trumpet in Zion.
Right.
And sound an alarm in my holy mountain. That all the inhabitants of the land tremble, for the day of the Lord cometh, for it is nigh at hand.
It is what at hand?
Nigh at hand. A day of darkness and of gloominess, a day of clouds and of thick darkness.
See, y'all, this is what we got to expect when we get to the end of the wilderness. I want y'all to think about that. All the warring with the nations, and then this is what you face before you go into the land. Now you're moving up to the rod. This is where now I try you before I let you in there. I don't know, you could have acted like you could have knew this boy you hit with the right hand and he just passed out. Like you really did something to him. He could be faking. I'm ready to try you now. Let's read some more.
Verse 2 again. A day of darkness and of gloominess, a day of clouds and of thick darkness, as the morning spread upon the mountains, a great people and a strong.
Hey, hold it down over there, man. You two little fellas. Johnny Boy.
LeBron, hold it down. Good.
There have not been ever the like, neither shall be any more after it, even to the years of many generations. A fire devoureth before them,
right,
and behind them a flame burneth. The land is as the Garden of Eden before them, and behind them a desolate wilderness.
See, the wilderness will never be the kingdom. Don't get yourself prepared for relaxation in the wilderness. Before them, the land is like what? The Garden of Eden. But behind them is what? You got to get through all this dark time that the Lord is finna put down the final test. Now, yeah, you did good with them nations. Now it's time to deal with me. I need to know where your heart is in this matter. I need to know right now, and it's finna get rough right now. Y'all finna deal with me. Read some more.
Yeah, and nothing shall escape them. Verse 4. The appearance of them is as the appearance of horses, and as horsemen, so shall they run. Like the noise of chariots on the tops of mountains shall they leap. Like the noise of a flame of fire that devoureth the stubble, as a strong people set in battle array. Before their face the people shall be much pain. All faces shall gather blackness. They shall run like mighty men. They shall climb the wall like men of war. And they shall march every one on his ways. And they shall not break their rank. Neither shall one thrust another. They shall walk every one in his path. And when they fall upon the sword, they shall not be wounded.
See, and when they fall upon the sword, they should not be wounded. These same things were told us in Mark 16 chapter when the Holy Spirit is upon us. You can drink a poison thing, it ain't gonna do nothing to you. Paul was stoned, stood right back up, kept on walking. And like the book of Eli, when they showed him being shot all them time, and he was still in there walking, but he had corruptible flesh. And it was breaking down. The spirit was still strong. That's what had him still driving to his destination, going through that wilderness of the people. How you watching the book of Eli and you ain't seeing it? What we read. Wilderness of the people. You seeing them when he got to one dude, he said, you are a robber and a killer of innocent people out on the road. He's in the wilderness, scrapping to get to work. This location west. That's what we talking about, y'all. Watch that movie and don't even see what's going on, what you're facing. And that's nuclear fallout, y'all, they going through.
Shampoo smell like perfume.
Boy, all the tea in China for a bottle of small that you get from a hotel that you throw in a bag anyway. Because you want to get something for your money.
Right.
If the towels had other initials on them, they'd be gone. But it'd be hard to explain. You got towels out with CK on them and your initials are KT. Where we at?
Verse 9.
What did it say?
They shall run to and fro in the city. They shall run upon the wall. They shall climb upon the houses. They shall enter in at the windows like a thief. The earth shall quake before them. The heavens shall tremble. The sun and the moon shall be dark, and the stars shall withdraw their shine.
Yo, see what's happening before we enter into the land, what's taking place. You're not going to no resting place and put your heels up. It's work to be done before we get to the place where you can put your feet up. What you got, Tom?
We ain't gonna see none of that. We're gonna be raptured out.
Okay.
I got some more stuff I want to say. I got some things in the truck I think you would be interested in.
Go ahead, bro.
Verse 11. And the Lord shall utter his voice before his army, for his camp is very great.
What is his camp?
Very great. For he is strong that executed his word. For the day of the Lord is great and very terrible. Who can abide in it?
Who can abide in the day of the Lord? That's coming after the wilderness.
Yeah.
You get through that, now you're dealing with the head honcho chief. A dark day, a cloudy day, earthquakes, and you got supernatural, and you got to handle this business. Free of what you used to be. Let's move it on, y'all. Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 16. Talk about verse 17, y'all. We got 3 more scripts after that. We're going to close out. We're going to end it in Revelations, which is going to show after we get through what the wilderness has turned into for us beforehand. Y'all get into some Exodus 14th chapter and the 19th chapter. What we just read here about the light before them and the darkness blocking behind you, it's exact mirror of Exodus 14th chapter. The same exact way. It matches up with Ezekiel 20:33 on down. You got to come out like this. This is what's going to take place. But the only difference is you're in the wilderness. The whole world is the wilderness now. It's corrupt in every place on planet Earth. What you got?
So what you're saying in the Genesis, it was just like when he brought them out of Egypt, when he put the fire behind him to block Pharaoh.
Right.
Darkness behind.
Yeah, darkness.
You can't see.
Right.
Light in front of us to see where we're going to. That's where y'all going. Don't look back there. It's dark back there.
What you looking back for?
What you looking back there for?
Lot white. What you looking back for?
What you looking back there for? But you know what? They had two other daughters. Remember the angel started talking about, it said Lot was talking to his sons-in-law.
Right.
The ones that got with him after they got over were virgins. These two were married, but it seemed as though he just was mocking to them. She looked back, my daughter's gone. You can't look back for even that. If they didn't come out with them at the last time when it say it's time to come over, it's going to be dark day for you. And there was 5 cities surrounding him. All of them into pure wickedness. Y'all can't watch Empire no more unless y'all watch certain scenes. You have to do like this. It's like men who used to dilly-dally in porn, and when the camera switched to a man's rear end, you have to do this. And stop what you doing. Some of y'all don't know what I'm talking about, and that's good.
So we started at verse 17.
Verse 17, wisdom of Solomon.
Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 16, verse 17.
Everybody there?
For which is most to be wondered at, the fire had more force in the water.
See, this is a thing to be wondered at. How does a fire burn in water? How do you have hell mingled with fire? I'm not talking about fire just on top. It says mingled. It's part of the mixture of it, and it's hell. How do you get a load of that? I mean, we used to, you pick up one, man, look how big this is, golf ball size hell. Now, pick up one with fire in the midst of it and put that on the news. Go ahead, bro.
The fire had more force in the water that quencheth all things. For the world figureth for the
Fighters.
For the world fighteth for the righteous. For some time the flame was
Mitigated.
mitigated, that it might not burn up the beasts that were sent against the ungodly, but themselves might see and perceive that they were persecuted with the judgment of God.
So even though it's fire around, animals were getting through the fires to destroy you. You put up a wall of fire, the animals get through that or not burned by it because they're targeted at you to devour you. So the wrath of fire don't even touch them because they're on a mission to get you for disobedience. What you got, brother?
And they fire, they gonna say it's the animals that's just strong to define it into them.
They're going to say what the animals is.
They're like, they fire, they gonna say the animals.
Oh, yeah. The pride is going to be there. Go ahead, bro. Like it was with Pharaoh.
Verse 19.
What it say?
And at another time it burneth even in the midst of water above the power of fire, that it might destroy the fruits of an unjust land. Instead whereof thou feedest thine own people with angels' food.
What kind of food?
Angels' food. And didst send them from heaven bread prepared without their labor.
Bread prepared without your labor sent to you in the wilderness, y'all. So these are the ones when you're saying he's going to nourish you in the wilderness. Yes, you won't even have to make bread. If you just obey, I'm going to send you bread from heaven. I'm going to get you prepared for what we eat on the other side. Manna bread. And we're going to see what manna bread can taste like. Go ahead, bro.
Able to content every man's delight, and agreeing to every taste.
Look, you got a taste for anything in Egypt. You can make manna bread taste like that. This is what he did for us in the wilderness. You ain't got to go back there. But it better be righteous tasting. Manna bread can't taste like pig feet pie.
No.
Good. Good. You ain't gonna want no more of this wilderness other people. Every time you go up to a market, you have to see. Just like you can't go get no candy now, but how the devil play, he got his racks for Halloween and then he got regular candy. But the racks for Halloween candy, you get 2 for 1, but then what you gonna do? I'm gonna save it till after Halloween. No, you ain't. The rapper say Halloween. Go ahead.
Verse 21.
What it say?
For thy substance declare thy sweetness unto thy children, and serving to the appetite of the eater. Tempered itself to every man's liking.
To every man's liking. You think it's just bread, but it tastes like lamb. It'll taste like chicken. It'll taste like whatever you want it to taste like till you keep moving. That's what it's designed for. It's just not like how you think about bread here. This is bread that tastes like whatever you want it to taste like. Except what ain't on the dietary list, because it's coming from heaven. You're not going to miss anything when you eat this bread and it tastes. This ain't tofu. That's what Satan tried to make taste like something else. Tofu tastes just like chicken. Well, we still got chicken now. In the wilderness, we didn't. Why am I eat something that's still there? What? How you ever gonna know until you eat a piece of lamb? So you say this is what lamb tastes like. How will you ever know until you eat a piece of lamb? But if you've already eaten it and you eat this bread and you know this bread, anything I choose, it'll taste like that. Jack Simon, if you want that. With fries, Jack Simon and fries. That's what it's tasting like. Read some more.
Verse 22.
What it say?
But snow and ice endured the fire, and melted not, that they might know that fire burning in the hail and sparkling in the rain did destroy the fruits of the enemy.
So you got hail, which destroying crops because it's breaking them up, and then you got fire burning it up at the same time, and the ice is not being melted by the fire. Yeah, but we got to go back to Egypt. We longing for what's back behind us to keep us sick and deranged. Read some more, bro.
Verse 23.
What it say?
But this again did even forget his own strength, that the righteous might be nourished.
That the righteous might be what?
Nourished.
See, y'all, this nourishing that's spoken about in Revelation 12, where the children of Israel be nourished for times and times and a half. This is talking about we got nourished in the wilderness of Sinai. We had manna bread there. Quail came, didn't it? Water sprung up. We were being nourished. We were getting the law. First, we were being nourished by bread, not by bread and water alone, but by every word of the Most High. We were being nourished. So if you look at Revelation 12 like it's anything different from what already been, you're wasting your time. There are no hammocks in the wilderness. You're going to be this and just scratching in the wilderness. You ain't going to look forward to the kingdom then. Y'all go ahead, man. I'm chilling back here. You won't leave the wilderness. Read some more. We got 2 more, y'all. We're going to get out of here.
Verse 24.
What it say?
For the creature that serveth thee, who art the maker, increaseth his strength against the unrighteous for their punishment, and abateth his strength for the benefit of such as put their trust in thee. Therefore, even then was it altered into all fashion, and was obedient to thy grace, that nourisheth all things.
That do what?
Nourisheth all things, according to the desire of them that had need, that thy children, O Lord, whom thou lovest, might know that it is not the growing of fruits that nourisheth man.
It's not the what?
Growing of fruits that nourisheth man.
So y'all see this? This ain't what we looking for in the wilderness. They talking about the fruits and the watermelons that's gonna be there, and we're gonna be bananas there. It is not the fruit that nourishes man. The hell is wrong with us? You can get fruit down in Soulard Market. We had a partner left here and he went to an outdoor market and taking pictures. I went down to Soulard Market and took some pictures. And sent them back. Let's read some more.
That it is not the growing of fruits that nourisheth man, but that it is thy word.
It is thy what?
Word which preserveth them that put their trust in thee.
See, so when you're reading Revelation 12 and you're talking about the children of Israel as being nourished for a time, and that don't mean you escaping tribulation or you escaping the wrath. You're moving through the wilderness, but you're getting the law as you're seeing this wickedness. That's what's making you want to stay away from it. You have to see it so you don't want no part of it. Now you have to watch TV and turn your head when certain scenes come on. Two men swapping slob and talking to each other like it's man and woman. And you have to look this way and then turn back. Oh, you got to turn the TV off. What you gonna watch? How you gonna watch football and accept another man hitting another man on his rear end in tight pants, skinny jeans, skinny uniforms? Good play.
They ain't mentioning what they wearing after the game.
Nah, yeah, a man thong. Look, how about you reading on the street? That's right. Thus saith the Lord. And somebody hit you on the rear end. Good scripture, bro.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, sir. But you can watch football when a good play is made. And you got to watch this stuff if you're going to watch TV. That's what Satan say. You want to be in my circle? You going to watch. Or you don't watch. What you going to do but turn the TV off? It ain't nothing. Cartoons. Y'all got to make sure y'all, what you saying, bro?
Some of them is quick.
That's right. Y'all got to make sure y'all TV is free of Mr. Pickles. You cannot let your children get a hold to that channel. Boy, that's all I'm going to say.
I watched it for 5 minutes. I couldn't take it.
It's for children. You just Google it when you get home. Let's read some more. Let's finish this out.
Verse 27.
What it say?
For that which was not destroyed of the fire, being warmed with a little sunbeam, soon melted away.
Right.
That it might be known that we must prevent the sun to give thee thanks, and at the day springs, pray unto thee. So he said, even though y'all got manna bread, we were told so much to pick up and leave it up, but we start gathering it all up like it wasn't gonna be no more. Just greedy at this point, and it say it stank the next day. Because our minds are still corrupted. He told you don't worry about eating. What you putting extra in your pocket for? Yo, this is how we are. Why are you putting extra in there? You're eating now and you don't even understand. You're eating, making taste. And he say, don't take more. And some people eat so much, they start vomiting through their nose. Quail and everything. But still, just in abundance, and he's telling you, you don't have to do it. It's yours. It's like Eddie Murphy in Trading Places when he was stealing his own stuff. He's like, these are your things. You don't have to. Go ahead. Where we at? Verse 29.
What it say?
For the hope of the unthankful shall melt away as the winter's hoar frost, and shall run away as unprofitable water.
So you can't be in the wilderness and unthankful. You're getting through this time to show you, I got your back. It's the only way the Lord gonna be able to show you where you truly see the supernatural power that have your back. You're in a will. You know you ain't supposed to get through there. We got to go through there. And he say, I got y'all back. Let's roll. Let's roll. Yeah, we got these 3 more. I'm gonna get out here. And I want to hit this one, Isaiah 43, because a lot of people run to it when they say, look, this is what the wilderness is going to be like. But it's going to be like that if you're obedient. If you're not obedient, the earth's going to open up and swallow you up in the wilderness. The wilderness is a preparation. The wilderness is boot camp. And you happen to be going through it now because we're scattered on the four corners of the earth. They killing us in Jerusalem. They killing us in that corner. They killing us in this corner. They killing us in this corner.
And we killing us.
And we killing us at a higher rate because we don't know what else to do. Go ahead, brother.
Big brother, only one on this planet that can mention our death in this world. He the only one mentioning it.
Who is?
He the only one mentioning our death in this country.
It's death.
Right.
Most of us may have to look. Revelation 6 and 9 say the souls that's under the Lord. How long, Lord, before you judge them on the earth and avenge our blood? White robes was given to them and a palm leaf in their hand to tell them you're sealed and you're saved, and they were put back to sleep. It said until your fellow brother should be killed in like manner as you were. So no matter how you do it, there has to be a second martyrdom. You can't talk about the 1290 days in Revelation 12 and not talk about the 1290 days in Daniel 7 and 9, where it says, and the saints, he shall make war with the saints and shall do what? Wear them out. When your mama told you, boy, I'm wearing you out. Then she was saying, stop it. Don't do it anymore. Stop it. Okay, mom. Or did she wear you out? And then give you the final. Y'all go, Babu, and then give you the final. Shut up before I come back and then give you something to cry for. So what you did just a few minutes ago, you got something stronger than that? Let's finish this up, y'all. Where we at? Isaiah 43:15, y'all. We got the Revelation 21 and 1, Revelation 22. We out.
Still on me?
Yeah.
All right. Isaiah chapter 43, starting at verse 15. Everybody there? I am the Lord, your Holy One, the Creator of Israel, your King. Thus saith the Lord, which maketh a way in the sea and a path in the mighty water, which bringeth forth the chariot and horse, the army and the power. They shall lie down together, they shall not rise. They are extinct, they are quenched as tow. Remember ye not the former things, neither consider the things of old. Behold, I will do a new thing.
And see, in this right here, get every, oh, it's going to be different from the last time. Ain't no war with nobody. It's hammocks. I see hammocks. Let's read what this new thing gonna be.
Verse 19 again. Behold, I will do a new thing. Now it shall spring forth. Shall ye not know it? I will even make a way in the wilderness and rivers in the desert.
We just read that in the prior scripture where he say, I can turn a river into dry land. I can reverse that, or I can do it the other way. So what's new? The only difference is it's going to be done leading you into everlasting life. That's going to be the new thing. These wilderness, we had to go through one. We end up in another. This is going to be new. That ain't coming back no more. This is the last one. I'm going to do a new thing. I'm going to take you right into the garden after this wilderness. Everlasting life. That's going to be the new thing. And we're going to match that up with the revelations that we're finna read. So you understand it's not, the new thing ain't going to be in the wilderness. It's still a trying point. It's still Sirach 2. Prepare your heart when you come to serve the Lord. Get ready for the temptations of the world. You think you just going to slide in there? And ain't going to be accountable for what you secretly like? What you wait till everybody's sleeping? Yeah. I wasn't thinking of that, but go ahead.
Verse 20.
Right.
The beasts of the field shall honor me, the dragons and the owls, because I give waters in the wilderness and rivers in the desert, to give drink to my people, my chosen.
Tell me what you heard new right here that wasn't done what we previously read in Sinai. Then we get waters in the wilderness. Mm-hmm. So far, I'm still waiting on the new thing. Let's read some more.
Verse 21. This people have I formed for myself. They shall show forth my praise. But thou hast not called upon me, O Jacob. But thou hast been weary of me, O Israel.
Get tired too quick. Go ahead.
Verse 23. Thou hast not bought me the small cattle of thy burnt offerings, neither hast thou honored me with thy sacrifices. I have not caused thee to serve with an offering, nor wearied thee with incense.
So he say, I ain't forced bondage on y'all to love me and do my command. I ain't forced y'all to do this. I said y'all can live forever if y'all do it. That's a if y'all do it, or y'all gonna die.
Right.
It's counterproductive to do this other thing. All I'm offering is the way of life, and y'all look at that with a whore's forehead. Anybody can do that. Go ahead.
Verse 24. Thou hast bought me no sweet cane with money, neither hast thou filled me with the fat of thy sacrifices. But thou hast made me to serve with thy sin.
With thy what?
Sin.
You done brought the Lord into your sin. With your sin. You ain't brought me no sweet cane. You said if you won a lotto, what you was gonna do. You ain't been nowhere but in the gator store and at the club. What a sweet cane.
Sugar cane?
No, it's a form of, yeah, it could be that mixed with an offering. Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Thou hast wearied me with thine iniquity. I, even I, am he that blotteth out thy transgressions for mine own sake.
For whose sake?
Mine own sake. And will not remember thy sins.
See, it's not about you. He said, I'm forgetting them for my sake. I'm going to give you a pass on that for my sake. It ain't what you did that you getting a pass. I'm going to do that for my sake. I'm going to give you a pass. Let's read some more.
Verse 26. Put me in remembrance. Let us plead together.
Let us do what?
Plead together.
Accept what's coming to you. Thank you, Lord, because I'm worthy to be dead. Moses thanked him. You got to go up on that mountain and die. You and Aaron. Aaron died first up there. They court-martialed him first. Took his clothes off of him and put him on his son Eleazar. A court-martialing before you get put to death. Read some more.
Put me in remembrance. Let us plead together. Declare thou that thou mayest be justified.
Y'all see that justified and pleading in the same sentence, in the same verse? This is judgment. Plead with me, justified. I'm worthy of death, Lord. I don't deserve it. You know my faults. Because I was looking straight, my peripheral vision was looking at that woman walking with them coochie shorts on. But I'm looking straight. Read some more.
Verse 27. Thy first father hath sinned.
Who was that? Read about that as Adam, that second Asher. The first father transgressed immediately in righteousness. Let's read some more.
And thy teachers have transgressed against me. Therefore have I profaned the princes of the sanctuary, and have given Jacob to the curse, and Israel to reproach.
See, if you stop reading about I'm gonna do a new thing and you don't get to the end of it, then you think the new thing is in there and you got hammocks in there. You think you got bologna sandwiches on the clap? In the wilderness? No. Let's hit these last two. Revelation 21:1 and Revelation 22:1-3. Y'all, we close out. Y'all, and all we saying once again, we're not talking about wilderness location. We're not going to get into that contest of that endless debate, so to speak, because can't nobody pinpoint a location with true accuracy and scripture to tell you where it's at or where it's going to be. When it's right before your face, it's going to be amongst the people. You're going to get tried on wickedness at the highest level known to man. If all you've been used to is Leave It a Beaver on TV, well, Ward and June is washing dishes together, well, you're going to get a load of empire, and that's just the beginning of it. Now, y'all out there arguing about beard, and here two men with beard kissing like man and woman with beards and boxer shorts on backwards with the slit in the back.
Oh,
You want to watch TV, don't you? Or do you want to watch football? Play, baby. How you go home very intent? Hey, boy, you done seen it. Some hollering at you and slapping you on the rear. Good play, and you scooting up. You be like, hey, what you doing? You feel like you feel it. You read that last verse? Okay. Right here, y'all. Revelation 21:1. And y'all, this is what we read that Joel, what's before us. The Father showing us what's before us, and behind us is a desolate wilderness. We leaving all this behind us. You're not staying in the wilderness. You're not being prepared to live in the wilderness. You're prepared to go through the wilderness, but you're going through it now. How much more you need? You see the plagues hitting us. You see this hurricane. Florida, the panhandle looked like a nuclear bomb that went off down there. And there's more to come. It's a wilderness for them now. They without power. 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 million people without power right now. And all the grocery stores were ransacked before the storm hit.
y'all think about that when y'all eat tonight.
What they going? Puerto Rico still ain't recovered.
New Orleans either.
Huh?
New Orleans either.
New Orleans either. Still ain't recovered from that. And y'all, that's just the beginning of sorrows. We ain't seen it yet. But know one thing, when he said, I got y'all back. Abraham was walking around in fire. That's why I wanted to read that something about fire. They were walking in fire and the smell of smoke wasn't even on. Y'all know how you get fascinated. You just be watching the barbecue grill. You be watching that fire and it's orange and it's blue. Do you know fire has weight? I want y'all next time you work, just pick up a little fire and see if just seeing if y'all was still awake. You know how we get lazy at the last hour, right? No, don't you try. Let's get it, y'all.
Revelation chapter 21, verse 1. And I saw a new heaven.
I saw a what?
A new heaven.
Y'all, we seeing the new thing now. Go ahead.
And a new earth.
And a new what?
Earth.
Uh-huh.
For the first heaven and the first earth were passed away, and there was no more sea.
So this is a new thing, because when we got through the wilderness of Sinai, guess what? We had in the wilderness of America again, ain't we? Until you're talking about going through another. This is a new thing. That's the last wilderness. It's the last one. Here on out, we good to go. You will be in relaxation mode here on out. You work when you feel like it. You're required to go to the kingdom, but everybody know the law. So this don't turn into slothfulness or just a slumberer all the time. You won't be just in that mode. You'll know how to work doing the rest. That's why I keep comparing it to Genesis 2. That rest. Back to how Adam was. Adam was brought into retirement and tripped. How do you go from naming everything and you giving it commands to the sun burning your skin? Brought into paradise and got thrown out. That ain't gonna happen no more. Right. I mean, he wanted it to be that woman. But when she was giving him details of lasciviousness, he like, show you right. Show up. Yeah, and then he said this. Did he touch on you? Well, he was just showing me how to do it. Did he touch on? Yeah, but he was just showing me. Oh, okay. I want to show you too. Now we're trying to get back to where he was brought in. Let's read. Where we at?
Verse 2.
What it say?
And I, John, saw the holy city, New Jerusalem, coming down from Yahweh out of heaven, prepared as a bride adorned for her husband.
This what he saw, coming down. So all of the songs I'm going up yonder has to be Jerusalem. It can't go above that.
It's a new version. When them gold streets inhabit the earth, map 6 and 10.
Y'all hear him? He done corrected the song process. When them streets hit there. But that's not your dwelling place. That's the worship center. You will be in Ezekiel 48 chapter. You up here. And y'all, let me tell you how the devil is trying to make this look like getting it set up for a new world order. There are reports that Damascus has fish living in it now. Life is returning. That was one prophecy in Ezekiel 47. But the only problem with that, they got a secret project going. That they're putting the fish in there to see if they survive. Yes. That ain't like what the scripture is saying. See, but that's gonna make people run because they think. Y'all look it up to what the Dead Sea Project is going on right now. They got the Dead Sea Project. They're putting fish in there and changing some structures so that they'll fulfill prophecy. It ain't gonna last. But people are running there. See, fish is coming back into the Dead Sea. It's the lowest level on planet Earth. Besides on Earth, not in the waters. The lowest part is Meridia or somewhere off the coast of Africa that's 8 miles deep. That's the farthest they've been able to go. It's deeper than that. They can't even send a robot down there. It crushes it up like a can. That's the deepest they've been. 8 miles, that robot, it was wrinkled up. They had to bring it back up. So in like manner, when New Jerusalem come down, you're not going to be living in New Jerusalem. You go there to worship, and then you go back to your plot of land, your promise of your mansion. If you read the description of the New Jerusalem, 144 furlongs this way, this high and that way and this way, you can't put 12 tribes in there to live. That's the worship center. That's why I got gates. You Judah, you go through that gate. You this, you go through that gate. And then you got the court of the Gentile that must come up to Jerusalem to acknowledge. What you got, Theo?
I heard that they building some kind of temple or something in Saudi Arabia. Some kind of big elaborate building supposed to be.
Ain't no telling what it could be. All of it could be the housing or the coronation for the Antichrist, which 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 say nobody will escape the Antichrist coming. You must see him. That's what it says. It's saying you have to see who opposes all and calleth himself God. I have to let you see this individual who's coming with all of the power of Satan with lying wonders and deceivableness. If it were possible, he would do what? So where are you running off to? If it's possible, he would deceive the very elect. But the elect know that ain't the kingdom that's spoken of. That's not it. It may look like it, but they say frog legs taste like chicken. We ain't talking about what used to be. We're talking about what righteousness is. Don't want to hear about what you used to be. Used to was a rooster that can't crow no more. Where we at?
Verse 3.
What it say?
And I heard a great voice out of heaven saying, behold, the tabernacle of Yahweh is with me, and he will dwell with them, and they shall be his people, and Yahweh himself shall be with them and be their God.
What are you going to do right here?
And Yahweh shall wipe away all tears from their eyes, and there shall be no more death.
No more death?
No more death.
Y'all, this is the final destination. This is what the new thing is. After we come out of that wilderness, there was still death, wasn't it? Moses died in that wilderness in Aaron. 3,000 got swallowed up, but this new thing, there's no more what? Y'all, when we get there, we know we in the kingdom. Austin Lane is out of business. Granbury out of business. Coffin making is no more. Let's read some more.
And Yahweh shall wipe away all the tears from their eyes, and there shall be no more death, neither sorrow, nor crying, neither shall there be any more pain.
No pain?
Any more pain.
So all that knee is gone, pain. Acne, kidney, mine, both knees. No more pain. Go ahead.
For the former things are passed away. And he that sat upon the throne said, behold, I make all things new.
Now y'all understand Isaiah? We just read 43. Now all things are new. Now this the new thing. Death don't exist no more. Let's read some more.
And he said unto me, write, for these words are true and faithful.
You can hold right there. Y'all read the rest of that. Let's hit this Revelation 22, 1-3, y'all. We out of here.
Revelation chapter 22, verse 1.
Now we're going to see where these waters, when he talked about that wilderness, how now these things are taking place in the Garden of Eden, because it was there in the beginning. And there was a river and it parted into 4 parts, didn't it? Before Adam sinned. We getting back to the same thing, y'all. We just need to see what Adam saw, and he almost lived a day, 930 years. Now you talking about somebody don't want to read the book of Enoch because it say it was men that they say it looked like they was 40 feet, 30 feet tall. When you got Adam living 930 years, do you believe it? I mean, what does his skin look like? What is he chewing chicken with? I mean, how's he walking? What does 930 years look like of a man? Let's read some more.
Revelation chapter 22, verse 1. And he showed me a pure river of water of life, clear as crystal.
Clear as what?
Crystal. Proceeding out of the throne of Yahweh and of the Lamb, in the midst of the street of it. And on either side of the river was there a tree of life.
A tree of what?
A tree of life, which bare 12 manner of fruit, and yielded her fruit every month.
Every month.
And her leaves of the tree were for the healing of the nation.
See, so see how once again its fruit is nourishing, but it's healing of the nations. Because righteousness is coming from Jerusalem now. So the nourishing of them, you're healing them. Remember, y'all got to come up to Jerusalem once a year. If you don't, no rain. No rain, no what?
No crops.
No crops, no what?
No food.
Hollow stomachs and hard times, ain't it? No water, no Kool-Aid. Look, they got a new commercial I'll talk about that water, that fruit water, whatever it is, and it's showing the water tank, regular water, saying, I used to be the stuff, but now that water then took over. Well, that water can't be that water without you. You're natural water. They have to make flavored water out of regular water, but you to reduce yourself talking about what needs you. Let's read some more. Let's finish this off.
Verse 3.
What it say?
And there shall be no more curse.
No more curse.
But the throne of Yahweh and the Lamb shall be in it, and his servants shall serve him.
Now, what's this the kicker right here? This is what we've been waiting on all our lives. This is what all the patriarchs has been waiting on. Hit that verse 4.
Can you take that at 6?
You got 6, we can go.
And they shall see his face.
They shall do what?
See his face. And his name shall be in their foreheads. And there shall be no night there. And they need no candle, neither light of the sun. For the Lord Yahweh giveth them light. And they shall reign forever and ever.
How long?
Ever and ever. And he said unto me, these things are faithful and true. And the Elohim Yahweh of the holy prophets sent his angels to show unto his servants the things which must shortly be done.
The things which must surely become, y'all, we got to go through this wilderness of the people so we don't see no more death. You have to see it. and you're going to war with your own people first. You have to think about that. You have to get straight with each other so that you can fight the other nations. If you don't have it, you're going to join up with the other nations. You're going to be with us, and then you be with the other side. Like Dathan. Who put blood on Dathan's door? That's the question. Did he do it? If he did, it just got him to the rod, and he was swallowed up in the wilderness. So whoever did that for him, you can lead a horse to the water, but you can't make him drink living water. Who got a song?
95.
We good out there? Worldwide audience good out there?
I had one question. I told him to hit up the show. You want to try to answer? I told him to have more time. But
what he saying?
This is the question. Yeah, you got that. It's UBU. He said, anyone who might be able to answer my question regarding Genesis 6, who are the sons of Yah, the sons of Cain? Who are the daughters of men, the daughters of Seth? Is that teaching right? What about Enoch 9? I told him, you know, we're about to close out. It might get a little.
No, but just, you have to go to Job 1:1. You see who the sons of God is. You see who the sons of men are. The angels were always called the sons of God. Satan was called a son of God. So you have to understand that in Genesis 6, who it was talking about, it wasn't Cain. It wasn't Cain, because you still got to deal with Genesis 4:1. He had his own lineage, but did he get on the ark? If he didn't get on the ark, ain't no more talk about Cain. Cain didn't come over on this side. Him and all his lineage is on that side, or you got more than 8 people on the ark. And if you say he came on as a beast, clean or unclean, which one? And it better been 2 pairs for if it was unclean. So if you say the caveman got on the ark and crossed over, it should be 2 sets of them. Unclean, scratching, don't know what fire is, howling at the moon. On the ark. You answer them questions. I ain't gonna get entertained in it, because Cain got wiped out. The genealogies in Genesis 5, before you get to 6, let you know who the sons of God are at the time. And it's like when we make it to the kingdom, then we become sons of who? But you have to get back in that supernatural flesh to be called sons of God again. Right now we're called son of man. Mm-hmm. That's what Adam was. Well, he was the first son of God. And then all his children were son of men. 1 Corinthians 15:51, or start at verse 45. That first man, Adam, was called the son of God. Who is Adam's daddy? Who sired Adam? So he was a son of who? Just like the Messiah. Mm-hmm. But the Messiah was in on the creation of Adam. So y'all, with that, we ain't gonna belabor. That's sometimes you just have to hit them real quick. But when you see the sons of God in the book of Job, that ain't talking about common men. Satan is amongst them, unless you're making Satan a man now. And then he's a man who can't die. He just moved through generation after generation. He done lived more than 1,000 years. But he can, because he was never born of flesh. He was born supernatural. He can't die, but eternally. And he'll never physically die then. He'll be tormented forever. Death is off the table, even for the wicked. You think you're going to do this and get away from torment? Oh, no, buddy. Death is gone for everybody, the wicked and the righteous. You can't die your way out of taking the mark of the beast. I just take it, then I commit suicide, and I'm home free, baby. No, you ain't. You're going to experience what cremation is about and staying alive to witness it. It's going to be a different walk than Abraham walked through the fire. In that fire. Let's close it out, y'all. All right. Everybody get some understanding today. Once again, y'all, we're not talking about location of the wilderness. We ain't getting into that. We're talking about preparation for what's to come, about a wicked people and a wicked nation that you're experiencing every day. You can't Google, you can't do nothing without seeing the other side of wickedness. And it draws you in.
All right, we're going to close out with the Most High's permission in the name of His only begotten Son, our Lord and Savior, Yahweh Shah HaMashiach, locally known as Jesus the Christ. We're going to read in the book of Psalms, the 95th chapter.
Yes, sir.
And it reads as follows. O come, let us sing unto the Most High. Let us make a joyful noise to the rock of our salvation. Let us come before His presence with thanksgiving and make a joyful noise unto Him with song. For the Most High is a great Elohim and a great King above all gods. In His hand are the deep places of the earth. The strength of the hills is His also. The sea is His, and He made it, and His hands formed the dry land. Oh, come, let us worship and bow down. Let us kneel before the Most High, our Maker. For He is our power, and we are the people of His pasture, and the sheep of His hand. Today, if ye will, hear His voice. Harden not your heart, as in the provocation, and as in the day of temptation in the wilderness.
In the what?
In the wilderness. When your fathers tempted me, proved me, and saw my work. 40 years long was I grieved with this generation, and said, it is a people that do err in their heart, and they have not known my way. Unto whom I swear in my wrath that they should not enter into my rest. Hallelujah! Say that!
That's good. If y'all got a shekel or two, we greatly appreciate y'all, the worldwide audience. If you want to donate to us, the P.O. box is on the listing. Shalom, y'all. Good class.
Shalom, family.
Please pick up after yourself. Get them old Pampers and sunflower seeds up. Y'all get the trash. What you